to recite a poem that I wrote for my daughter. I'll try not to cry while I'm doing it. It's about how she saved my life. I dedicate it to all the daughters in the room and those that we have lost to violence. I was wondering what I'd tell you the day you become a woman. The day you no longer need me to tie these pink ribbons in your hair. On that day, I will transform. From the 50-foot tall warrior who slays monsters under your bed and pours paradise into every meal, into this woman that I am. And so I wrote this letter for you. Dear future warriors. Yeah. God was generous the day he blessed me with you. It took 9 months to perfect bliss, and I know there's so much to learn, but I offer you this. Own your body. Let every bend and twist inspire the world. Let all that see recognize, respect, and deserve your deeply feminine curves. You see, I know it's a hard lesson to learn, but remember this. What's in between your hips is just as important as what's in between your lips. Own your anger. Never fear what's left, for you were born with a warrior's soul, with strength as your shield, knowledge as your sword. Even good girls have to fight the revolution. Even good girls have to fight for evolution, and know your life may not be televised, but you will still shine like stars in my eyes. Own your words. Choose them carefully, one by one, like lovers. For a woman is only as good as the words she stands on, and words are only as good as the foundation they are built upon. You see, I know it's hard being born into a fatherless room, conceived in this fatherless womb, but baby, don't make it your tomb. You see, I can't teach you to be a woman like me because I am only half the woman you will ever be, but I can teach you how to love the moon and stars, how to love words like I love you. But you must choose your own words, write your own stories, tell your own truths, and one day you'll have your own stories to share. But for right now, baby, I just want to hold you close and tie these pink ribbons in your hair. Thank you.
All right, microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. If you can hear me okay in the chat, if you can put a 1 in there, let me know what's up. That'd be good to know. I got a new little setup here, so I'm going to try it out a little bit. Um, Amazing poet. He's an amazing poet, or was, because basically, let's just say she had ex-boyfriend problems, and we know how that ends up, don't we? That's why she's no longer here, and that's what this live stream is all about tonight. It's about no impulse control. Let's get into it.
In the back, like
Let me bring this back. This is by Your Triggered. I think this is her video is a perfect way to start this live stream. Please check it out. Here we go.
I'm back with another triggering topic, and I wanted to compile a video of pure evidence that Black women are treated differently than other races of women, that there is no grace for Black women. The only thing that is
And that goes for the way that Black men treat Black women as well. Here we go.
reserved for Black women is disrespect, dismissal, and disdain. And I really wanted to do this because as a Black woman, whenever you tell people that this is your experience, or even if you just say that you've experienced it a time or two before as a Black woman, whether it be the men in your own community or other demographics, when you tell them about the specific disrespect that is reserved exclusively for Black women, you are oftentimes gaslit and told that you're tripping, or you're told, oh, nobody is treating Black women badly. That's just your imagination, and you have a victim mentality. So I took my time for months and compiled some data that could give you insight on the way that Black women are treated in this world.
Let me pause that for a minute. Quite honestly, really, to be honest with you, the judicial system knows how poorly Black women are treated. They do know, and you will find out later on if you keep watching this live stream. Here we go.
Now, this video will only contain a small amount of that data. The rest of the data will be in my upcoming book, but here's a little taste of the reality check that the world needs on how they treat Black women. Now, let's get into it. Now, I ran across this article about a Black man named Carlos Lamont Jones, who unalived his ex-girlfriend, Shadayla Johnson, because she had broken up with him after an argument. He had been stalking her, and he was upset that she wasn't answering his phone calls and his text messages. The police asked him if he was remorseful, and he said no, and said that if he had to do it again, he would have unalived her and her father, who witnessed the shooting. He shot this woman 15 times in the back like a coward because she didn't want to be with him any longer. Now, hearing a 23-year-old young woman who had her whole life ahead of her lose her life because she didn't want to be with someone anymore, that sounds horrific, doesn't it? At the very least, you can see that this man was in the wrong and this situation is unjust, right? Well, I go to the comments and they are filled with things like this. Here's a comment from Guapo Giuliani that says she can rest in piss, using N-words and making them fall in love with them and then running away and playing victim. The f out of here. Cry me a river, bitch. Now, there's nothing in the news articles about him being used. As a matter of fact, she was on her way to work when he unalived her. But with that being said, I go to this man's page and he says that he literally hates Black women. Then I see another comment from Mac Musa 7000. Y'all like to challenge and disrespect men, so this is what you get. Submit or die. Y'all are choosing death. Now that also makes no sense because breaking up with someone is disrespect now, but let's move forward. I see another comment by Goated Big 3 that says, "You mad about me not giving an F about her getting shot? Laugh emoji. What a joke." Then I see another comment from a man named Macmillion83. "Should have texted back. Only takes 2 seconds. Laugh emoji." And there were many, many more disgusting comments just like.
Yeah. You would hope this type of mentality would have been a rarity, but unfortunately, as you're going to find out further in this live stream, it's not.
Like this. Sometimes I just can't even stomach screenshotting them. It just makes me so upset. And it also fills me with anxiety. But the thing about it is that there were a lot of comments from men, and they were not just Black men. They were all races. And let's get into this. I saw this in a male, quote unquote, empowerment group. White women are the best because they are actually feminine. I said it and I stand on it. The closest things most of y'all brothers will see as a feminine woman is a mixed light skinned chick. Black women desire to be men. Let's talk heavy. Now, this particular comment isn't exclusive to Black women, but I had to throw it in there because I saw it in the same group. This man says, and if we can even call him a man, he says a wife is a possession. Once she gives you your children, you should replace her and bring in a younger woman who knows her role. Periodically replace your wives for younger models that are more submissive and are too young to be bitter and try to defy your leadership. This way, you remain in control. But wouldn't he be making all of these women that he casts aside for younger models? Wouldn't he be making them bitter because of his treatment of them? So
Let me pause it right there. If you want to see the rest, the rest can be seen on your Triggered's channel. And it looks like a Cupcake is in the house. Very interesting. Hey, get ready with get your chops ready, my man. Because yeah, I want your input on some of this shit I'm about to lay down. I want to get your input on it. I want you to see if you feel the same way that these guys do about Black women. Exactly that. We're about to get into it. Right now, something from Pretty Black Magic. She grabbed a perfect clip right here from Dr. Claude Anderson. Let's take a look.
One single Black community in America. All you got are Black neighborhoods. A neighborhood is where you eat and sleep. A hotel is a neighborhood. And some of these neighborhoods has gotten so bad now, they're not even neighborhoods anymore. Crime has gotten so high, they ran a neighbor out. All you got left is a hood. That's why they call it the hood. Nothing left in there. They don't have any communities. A community must have three elements. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can produce jobs, services, goods, products, and resources for your own people. Two, the second thing you must have in there, you must have a code of conduct saying this is how we're going to behave. Here's how we're going to love and support each other, appreciate them, care about them, protect them. And lastly, you must have politicians elected to office who will represent you first and foremost. You don't put Black folk in public office that will look out for everybody else before they look out for you. If you don't have those three things, you don't have a community. Right now, we do not have not one single Black.
What's going on?
All right. All right. I'm going to keep this going. We are going to keep this going. I mean, there's so much to unpack. A lot to unpack tonight. A lot to unpack. So let's keep it going. Here we go.
On family, welcome back. I'm Rev Leon, and this episode is a little different. We have someone live and direct telling us how he infected 75 ladies with HIV. Let's jump into it.
My name is Blake. I'm from Florida. I'm 36 years old. And it's true. I've infected over 75 women with HIV. It started in 2019 when I was diagnosed to be HIV positive. I was mad, I was pissed, I was angry at the world. And I've wanted revenge ever since that day. My ex-girlfriend, who I proposed to, is the one I contracted this disease from. She cheated on me, broke my heart. I gave this woman everything. I mean, everything. I brought her home, no car. I took care of her and her daughter. And this was the things I got.
So in return, he infects literally almost 80 women that had nothing to do with his problem. I don't think I mean, that's just disgusting.
This was the things I got.
Well, he sure showed his character. Maybe that, let's keep it going.
One day I wasn't feeling well, so I went to the doctor. They ran tests, and it was discovered that I had HIV. My girlfriend at the time broke up with me because I was honest and I shared my results with her. She broke up with me knowing that she was the one who gave me HIV. From that day, I was very angry. I was upset. And I made a vow that I will infect as many people that I possibly could.
It was easy to do it. It was easy. Nowadays, all you have to do is take a woman out a couple of times, pay a few bills, and she's willing to have sex with you. It was not hard at all. I would target single women with children.
Is that disgusting or what? What a piece of crap.
I'll come in the house, buy things for the kids, build a great relationship with them, and before you knew it, I was living in their home, dating their mother, having sex with her raw. And
wow. I hope he's in prison. I really do.
infecting her. I would have sex with them about 3 times each. I would break it up, and I will go to the next one.
I wonder, let's see. Wow. Well, I don't think he's even in jail. Oh, I got worse things for you. Let me go over DJ Kreepademiks real quick.
Seeing the pictures, the lawsuit. Hey, yo, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into the story. DJ Kreepademiks. Yo, I think DJ Kreepademiks is in a lot of fun. Let's get it fun. The word I'm looking for is not fun. I think DJ Kreepademiks is in a lot of trouble. That's the word. But let's talk about this from this perspective. First of
Last shall be first in the house. Good seeing you. Last shall be first.
all, let me say that DJ Kreepademiks already said that the lawsuit that's up against him, it is a civil suit, and nobody goes to jail or get jail time or prison time in a civil suit. However,
ask Diddy. Ask R. Kelly. The court gets a good eye. They get a good take a look at it, and then they can go from there.
However, man, listen. Whew, I just saw some paperwork documents from this civil suit. I'm talking about the proceedings. I'm talking about pictures. I'm talking about I'm about to talk in a minute describe what I see because YouTube has rules and regulations that you can't share that type of stuff on YouTube. They'll ban this channel.
Yep. You show the wrong legal documents on YouTube, you can kiss your channel goodbye. Might take a little while, but that's what, that's what's going down.
But I'm going to describe it to you, and I'm sure others have seen it. There's a growing number of people out here who are calling for DJ Akademiks to be put in jail or prison, however you want to take it. Now, we're about to go through some stuff. But let me say this. DJ Akademiks says he's not worried because it's a civil suit and it has no criminal element to it, whereas he won't be facing any.
A civil suit can have criminal element to it. It's what it is you can't be charged directly with a crime, to that person, because they're basically looking for relief of some sort. But if the judge looks at it, and if the judge goes, this shit right here, it's got some legs to it, they can charge you. Then they can take it from there. It has nothing to do with the person who put in the complaint. It has to do with what laws you broke. And it's safe to say DJ Akademiks may have very well crossed the line. Let's just put it that way.
Prison time, even if he loses the suit, it'll come down to somebody wanting some money. However, I want DJ Akademiks to remember that you can still be indicted by a grand jury if they decide that your civil suit has enough evidence for them to bring about criminal charges. So you're
boom,
not clear in the free or free in the clear, whichever way you want to take it. This news headline says DJ Akademiks fans uncover court documents from Foizia, or Zia is her name, Abashi. Lawsuit alleging, now that's her name. Her name's kind of funny. You notice I took a long pause trying to pronounce her name properly. They call her Zia or Zaya Abashi. The lawsuit alleging graphic abuse.
Let me pause it right there. Last Sabi first. He, I guess, back in the early 2Ks, I guess, late. I never heard any shit from him. But apparently he got very popular for some reason. Maybe because there's a group of demented men like him that like to flock together. So basically, he was into music kind of like a little bit. It never really jumped off at all. But for somehow he found some way to make a niche for himself, mostly with the misogynist men.
That's her name. Her name's kind of funny. You notice I took a long pause trying to pronounce her name properly. They call her Zia or Zaya Abashi. The lawsuit alleging graphic abuse. Listen.
Right here, what you're looking at is some scratches and everything she got from her attack. Basically, there could be as many as at least 3 suspects. Here we go.
I'm gonna read you a text message real quick, right? That's why I told you I don't judge. Just trying to make sure you made the choice to do whatever you wanted to do. This is a text message between DJ Akademiks and the alleged victim. This is him. DJ Akademiks says, that's why I told you I don't judge. I'm just trying to make sure you made the choice to do whatever you wanted to do.
These are texts. They're kind of graphic, but they're covered up pretty well. These are her injuries, and this is the attack.
And then she replied and said, always with you, but not this time around. I blacked out. I remember you waking me up during the night. And then DJ Academics text back and said, they said you were trying to call and bring your friends to join in. LOL. She replies, no call was made. I assumed that they'd leave at some time. It was just kind of awkward, and I mentioned I wanted to come with my friend to meet you, not to have sex with your friends. And I got up.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there and show you some of the paperwork that can be shown. This is it here. I think you can go to Hot Topics TV to get the full mix, but basically it was a lawsuit was filed by her who she dated Livingston Allen after meeting him online in 2021. Abash alleges that on July 2022, Allen contacted her and invited her to his house. Okay, and I tell you why this is very, very, very important is because it sounds like to me he set her up for an ambush. He set her up because okay, when you invite a woman over to your house and there are other people there, you just don't fucking leave them alone. Especially when you know how raunchy these dudes are. And he knew that. He knew that. So I think he set up an ambush. That's how I see it. He set up an ambush. When Abashi tried to arrive, however, she was met by two men, John Doe 1, John Doe 2, whom she did not expect to be there. Yep, that's an ambush. I can read, I might stutter a little bit here and there, and I might forget some shit from here and there, but I'll tell you one thing I can do. I can read ahead. I can see an ambush when I see one. Abashe was ambushed. And I don't think she was drunk. I think they drugged her. That's what I think. They use the same stuff. Welcome, Angela. It's good seeing you.
Back and says, I just mean the doctors. I don't know how this works, if a statement has to be taken or what. I don't want this to happen to any other person like that.
Okay, I'm going to go past this real quick. She's a beautiful woman, and he had no problem. He had no problem letting those dudes do what they did. That's he really honestly he deserves to go to prison. I'm saying it right here myself. He deserves to go. If indeed everything is accurate, he deserves to go. And to me, I can't respect him regardless because to allow something like that to happen in your house, that's beyond repulsive. I have to keep going though because I have a lot of videos. This one right here, this is really sad. Check this out. It's sad and happy at the same time because somehow, miraculously, she pulled through.
He looked me dead in my face. I looked him dead in his face. And as soon as we walked past, he just shot me in my back.
On Thanksgiving morning, 2022, while working as a caregiver at the Oxmoor apartment homes, Jasmine Blackman locked eyes with a masked man outside who shot her 9 times. Bullets pierced nearly every inch of her upper body, including her spine.
I just was focusing on my breathing, and I was thinking about my son the whole entire time. And
I mean, a beautiful young lady. Literally was at freaking work. and some dude just came up and shot her. No impulse control whatsoever. Livingston, he has no impulse control either.
I just like, please, my baby's in the house.
Police are still investigating who shot the now 25-year-old, while black men cannot fathom why they did it.
I'm a female, and that's why I'm just so distraught that like somebody would do that to me.
And though that single moment changed her life, including learning how to walk again, it could not keep her from the most important person to her, her 4-year-old son, Dex.
It was joy because I just missed him so much. I was like, and I was doing all this to get back to you.
Blackman is recovering physically and mentally from the horror that happened here. And as part of that process, she's forgiven her aggressor.
I don't have no hate in my heart.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. I mean, you may, okay.
I'm just trying
He's a bigger person than me. That's all I can say.
move forward and complete the mission that I'm trying to achieve.
2 years later, Blackman, a living testimony, aspires to start her own youth mentoring program, and she was featured in a trauma survivors exhibit at the Speed Art Museum. But there are some scars that will take longer to heal.
I'm just scared to be out, and then all the gun violence every day makes me even more nervous.
But with
Yeah,
her,
I wonder who's causing all the gun violence. Where's Cupcake at? Because I want to get his take on this. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Oh, okay, no, okay, never mind. I mean, probably at the liquor store. Anyway, let's keep it going.
second chance at life, Blackman is not only rewriting her story of survival, but redefining it, because she's much more than a victim of violence.
Welcome, new diamond in the house. Here we go.
Even though I've already been through it so much and all that, I don't want to be defined as, a gun violence survivor, but also just a survivor, because I've been through it.
In Louisville, Alexis Matthews, WOKY News.
Is that crazy or not? Crazy or what? It gets a little darker here. Check this one out.
Found inside a Lake Charles.
Let me bring it back.
A second arrest is announced in the deaths of 2 people found inside a Lake Charles duplex last week. Yesterday, 38-year-old Shelton Tucker was taken into custody in Texas. He's accused of killing his ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend on August 19th. The bodies of 39-year-old Courtney Grogan.
Angela, you nailed it. Angela says this. A lot of this anti-Black woman rhetoric preached in the Black manosphere can contribute to anti-woman violence like this. Exactly. And in hip hop too, which is basically the manosphere as well, because they think alike. Yep. Every day, all day and night. New diamond. Now starting at young ages. Yep. I don't trust 2 years old either. Well, I wouldn't go that young, but yeah. So let's listen to check this out. Here we go.
And 40-year-old Cyril Mitchell Jr. were found inside a Bradley Street home in Lake Charles. A second ex-boyfriend, identified as Desmond Brown, was also taken into custody yesterday in Welsh. Tucker is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of home invasion. Brown is charged with principal to first-degree murder. Police said both Brown and Tucker had children with Grogan. At the time of the homicide, police said it was determined their children and another child was present at the home. Bond for Tucker was set at $2.1 million. Brown's bond stands at $1.5 million.
Yo, YouTube. What's going on? Trip back again.
Is that disgusting or what? 2 baby daddies. 2 baby daddies deleted the mother of their children. I would love to tell you that this is like, really, quite honestly, I wish I could say it would never happen again, but I can't.
So was shot dead. According to ex-boyfriends, who she happened to have 2 children by. Now, the story says that Courtney has 2 children by these 2 individuals who took her life. And me and my team have been wondering, along with a lot of other people, why did this incident take place? So
I can pause it right there and tell you right now. Like I can say, I might stutter here and there, but I can tell you exactly what happened. Basically, they feel like they owned her. They feel like because they stuck her with some kids, you know, by doing that peen dance, that they owned her. And they probably made some disgusting deal like, okay, you get half and I get half. But then when she moved on away from them, you know, I mean, by the way, that was what they were thinking. That's not what they were doing. I mean, that's not what was happening. But when they finally saw that she moved on by finding another man and, you know, wanted to move on with her life, because they were probably both, let's face it, they were both, obviously they were dusty, right? They had to try to control their slave. That's how I'm telling you how they think. They think like just like slave owners, these monsters. Because what other reason? Let's keep it going. Here we go.
So let me ask you all, why would 2 men who have a
By the way, this is the Trey King Show.
baby by a woman plot and get together and plan to kill their baby mama unless it was about some money or maybe something else? So what do you all think the real reason why this murder took place? Was it because
This Trey, even if they told you why they did it, it's not that. It's exactly what Cynthia G says over and over and again. It's just their nature. Okay, it's just their nature. There's no excuse for this at all. That's the problem, is that sometimes we try to reach for reasons and they might make an excuse. There's a difference between a reason and a excuse. If you have the capability of deleting somebody just because they're seeing somebody new or some other reason like that, or any reason when you can think about it, you're a sick puppy. And I hope they're in a state where they zap.
these guys was on child support and they did not want to pay their child support? Because as you all may know from all the different stories I have done, people kill people for all kind of different reasons. But I've been trying to wrap my head up around the story for the longest and trying to figure out what's the real reason, what's the real motive, why Shelton Tucker and also Desmond Brown plotted together to take Courtney Grogan and also her boyfriend life. Now, police.
No, because they're nutbags. I mean, really, quite honestly, it's not that they're crazy. It's just that they have no impulse control. Welcome, Why is Seeking Knowledge in the house. New Diamond in the house. Angela Reddick in the house. That the last shall be first is in the house, and somewhere in the clouds is probably a cupcake. You know, getting ready for his little party tonight. Who knows?
Were called to Courtney Grogan duplex around 7:11 a.m. August the 19th. Now, from what I heard, Courtney have a 4-year-old son, and also she have a 6-year-old son. So I'm thinking that the 4-year-old son is by Desmond Brown, and the 6-year-old son is by Shelton Tucker, and she also has, yes, a little baby.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, so anyway,
Sure how old the baby is, but the baby looked just to be about maybe 6 to 7 months old. And no, the baby do not belong to Desmond Brown nor Shelton Tucker, because the story says also that they only had one baby by Courtney Grogan.
Police said both Brown and Tucker had children with Grogan.
Now, I'm not sure if the baby is by the new boyfriend, Surreal Mitchell Jr., or somebody else, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter who the new baby is by. But I'm just glad that these 2 individuals who took Courtney Grogan's life and also Surreal Mitchell Jr. life did not hurt these children, because you have to be out your damn mind and sit up here, number one, and plot to kill somebody and also plot to kill the mother of your children along with the ex-boyfriend. Now, look, I have done roughly almost 3,000 stories within the last 8 years, and this is the first time a story like this have ever came across my desk where two baby daddies, two ex-boyfriends came together, plotted, and ultimately killed their baby mama along with the new boyfriend. Never have I ever did a story like this. Now, unfortunately, for these two individuals, they are facing first-degree murder. And also, I want to ask you all this, from what you all have heard so far, due to the nature of this whole incident, because you must understand, they did not just plan this incident August the 19th. And also, they killed.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad. Why Seeking Knowledge breaks it down just like this. I've been on Trey for years. Males are emotional ones. It's not logical to mope for years with increasing jealousy for your ex enough to delete her and lose the rest of your life. Emotional, exactly. New Diamond. Black men do to black women and anyone weaker to them what white men do to them. They collectively will never conquer Brad. They mad. They mad. Dangerous and scary. I'm good over here. And then why seek knowledge? They get so butthurt when I say toxic masculinity, but I don't see any other accurate definition. It is. I mean, we see the results. There's no other word for it. There is no other word but toxic masculinity. Nothing else. In addition to, of course, no impulse control.
Killed Courtney Grogan and her boyfriend, Surreal Mitchell Jr. on August the 19th, but they wasn't caught until 10 days later on August, the 29th. And also, what make it even worse than that was that Desmond Brown was caught in Welsh, Louisiana. But guess what, though? The ringleader, the head of it all, Shelton Tucker, yes, he was arrested at work. So think about this. You have two baby daddies who sit up here and gun their baby mama down in front of their two children. So
Yeah, what's crazy is the dude right here, I think they said he had like a $200,000 job. $200,000 job. And he still planned the deletion. Isn't that crazy?
Let you know already, these guys did not give a damn about Courtney nor those children. Because number one, why would you sit up there and kill this woman to begin with, and you kill the mom and the new boyfriend right in front of them?
At the time of the homicide, police said it was determined their children and another child was present at the home.
So they let you all know right now that Shelton Tucker and also Desmond Brown did not give a damn about Courtney nor Surreal Mitchell Jr. and also, more importantly, their own child. Now look here, it's one thing not to care about your ex.
I wonder what they did to other people. I bet they both have a rap sheet. I guarantee you.
We get that. We understand that. But at the same time, we understand that people fall out of love, people fall out, but that doesn't mean that you plot to go kill your ex, and especially right in front of your damn child. So once again, why do you all think this murder took place? Was it behind money or was it behind other motives? Because from what I think and from what I have gathered, it's behind money. Now I'm not sure if Shelton Tucker nor Desmond Brown.
Really, Trey, I think you're giving them too much credit. I think you're giving them too much credit. It doesn't, I mean, what does it really matter? Is they're disgusting people. I think when you try to give somebody a justification for their actions, you make them seem like that maybe they had a good reason for doing it, and when there's just not. I mean, they're just monsters. That's it. Cupcake, if you want to talk about these monsters and give me an excuse for them, feel free to put let me know when you want to come up. Just tell me to drop the link and we'll talk for a minute. I want to hear what you're gonna say. I hope it, you can. What does A mean? Oh no, that tells me right there. I think you've been hitting it, haven't you? You've been hitting the fire water, haven't you? Been hitting it, huh? Angela Reddick says this: it is sad that the most dangerous predator for black women is the black man. It is sad and it is a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
Brown was on child support, but it does sound like this murder took place over money, because think about this family also. what would be the real reason? What would be the true motive for taking these two individuals' life, other than the fact these two men?
How about XY? How about the fact that the matter is that Cynthia G was 100% correct? They're on autopilot. They're on autopilot. They were programmed. They received their programming from somebody who was connected with, I don't know what. I'm sorry, Cupcake, you were vetoed. Please don't put no addicts on the panel. Look, okay, let's see what this is. Why don't you ever talk about those black women that set up black men and get killed? You want to know why? Because it's literally 1 in 1,000. Okay, it might be 1 in 10,000. It's one of the rarest things that ever happened in our community. That's why I don't. But I'm sure you go to places that do, don't you? You know? Let's see what else he got to say here. You've never made a show about black women setting up black men. No, there's no reason. Let me give you one word where you can find that kind of product. The manosphere. They do it all day. They ignore their own accountability. They ignore that they are the most dangerous entity in the community. Okay? They ignore that shit, but they want to talk about black women, just like you're doing right now. Let me keep it going. Here we go.
And did not want to come out on no money. But at the same time, that's why I tell you all, ever since I've been on YouTube, you must align yourself with the right people. But this story right here really reminds me of what my grandmother used to tell me when I was young. One day you're going to realize what people really think about you. See, we think people have our best interests at heart. We think these individuals that we come across in our life would never do anything like this. Because what type of person would go this far as to plot and plan out a damn murder?
Yep. There they are. Everyone, if you think these guys are bandits, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. And Cupcake, I want a summary from you. What do you think about these men here? How about that? Let me know. So yeah, that's pretty sad. I don't know what to say. I mean, this guy looks like he has them eyes anyway. That's Pretty Black Magic would say. He's got them killer eyes. This dude here, I mean, he's got his eyes closed because he can't. Oh, all right. Selected. No, it's selective. You say that you are selected of a. No, you mean selective. Selective of what you cover. Well, it is my channel. People have their genres. Cupcake. They do. You know what's funny to me though, Cupcake? You know what's kind of weird? You're on here complaining about me and you haven't said shit about these murderers I got on the screen. That's kind of creepy, bro. I can understand you saying the darn comments are slurred. OMG, why I seeking knowledge? Yeah, it's true. Okay, last night I don't know if you tuned in tonight. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, Cupcake. Hey, I might let y'all talk for a minute, But Tam says this: if Torch is such a simp and he doesn't cover topics you feel should be discussed, then why are you here? No Cupcake? Why are you here, No Cupcake? No one is forcing you or your sprinkles to be here. Bars. Nobody, yeah. You know why you come here, Cupcake? Because you love it here. You're surrounded by beautiful women. Okay. And even when you're sloppy, I mean, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to be cool tonight. Welcome, Tevin. Even if when you are at your worst, we are still cordial to you, or try. We try. When you're at your worst, that's why you're here. We give you more credit here than you get probably anywhere else. I am the male Cynthia G. That's what you're saying. I guess you expect that. I guess you expect me to be insulted, right? You're the male. I'm not. Anyway, let me go to the next. There is something very important and subtle in this next clip. This clip I played yesterday here. You know, and is very important. You see the clip. Here we go. Now it's in the middle of the clip because I don't want to play the whole clip. If you want to see my whole response, you have to check out yesterday's video. But here we go.
When you really love someone, you don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you're going to cheat, cheat up. Cheat with a lawyer. Cheat with a doctor. Cheat with someone that looks better and that's doing better than me. Not a hoe. Not an ugly hoe.
Okay, I'm going to play that one more time. Oh, I'm going to pause it there for 1 second and get a little volume. Okay, here we go.
A raggedy hoe. Mm-mm. I think that's why I'm the most mad. Kendra, if you see this girl, I'm going to send you a picture of her. Oh my goodness. And she knew about me too. She knew about me. Yeah. So, mm-mm.
So they're asking me, are you guys in the same house?
No.
No.
I'm
So we have
in LA.
Damn. Torch, to pacify No Cupcake, do a whole live. I'll say a whole live of covering ratchet women. Then we'll find out what No Cupcake will complain about next. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, you are here. Damn. Okay. This is what Cupcake's saying now. Damn. If you want to have an intellectual conversation with me, just say, No Cupcake. Damn, did you? Oh man. Let me stop laughing because this is about to get serious. So let me listen to this. Okay. Well, okay. He's good for comedy relief anyway. So okay, here we go. Yeah. I intellectual dot a whole week. Okay, here we go.
Not an ugly hoe. A raggedy hoe. Mm-mm. I think that's why I'm the most mad. Kendra, if you see this girl, I'm going to send you a picture of her. Oh my goodness. And she knew.
Okay, this was one of the mistakes this young lady made last night. And we went over this last night. So don't worry. I'm not going over it in length this time because there was just something I think a lot of people missed last night that we need to really discuss. Number one, another thing that sticks out is why is she complaining about the woman when it's the dude who's the problem? I mean, he's the one who cheated, you know?
Knew about me too. She knew about me. Yeah. So, mm-mm.
So they're asking me, are you guys in the same house?
No.
No.
I'm
we have
in LA.
So we have a house, we have an apartment. You're at the apartment. I might pull up on you.
Oh, okay, respond to this because Krista, everyone's saying
You want your wife back, but yet you did call a dating show looking for someone else. So that's a lot of the comments are saying. You did call.
So listen, y'all, strategy, y'all see who I'm on here with, who I haven't had contact with 3 weeks.
Now you can see why this is just starting to happen right here. You see who I'm on here with is not exactly a respectful statement you would make about, somebody you say you want to get back together with. I'm bringing this up because remember now, we just went over some gentlemen monsters that deleted their ex-woman, on the spot for some stupid reason. We know the reason's stupid. We don't even need to go ahead and find out why. We can just go ahead and cook the fellas. Now, look at him. To me, you're looking at somebody who has the potential to do the same. I'm dead serious with you. I know I'm comparing a crime story to a dating show, and you're like, wow, DJ Torch, what the heck are you doing? But what I'm doing is I'm pointing out the subtleties in violent men. That's what I'm doing. Why Seeking Knowledge breaks it down just like this. Go find sites that cover what you want to see. That she's replying to No Cupcake Zone. What the Boosie, the Boosie sphere is filled with that content. Quit trying to force others for your viewing pleasure. And then Tevin joins on at No Cupcake Zone. Torch do hold women accountable sometimes. And that is right. It's sometimes. I'm not here. This channel is not here to hold women accountable. I'm here. There are 200 times more channels that per se hold women accountable. Why should I join in with them? Is it a money-making endeavor to hold women accountable? Yes. But I do not want to, join them. Okay? That's just me. So really, quite honestly, what you should do is, Cupcake, I dare you to go to those channels and ask them to hold men accountable. Do that. Phoenix Soul, good seeing you. Phoenix Soul in the house. I'm going to keep going. Here we go. It's good seeing you.
Now I'm in front of this person, being able to talk to her and express myself to her. It's all about strategy. So I did kind of have an angle. She loves your show, Kendra. She's constantly watching your.
You're right. Why Seeking Knowledge? She's cooked. I'm done with her. I bet they are back together.
Show. She watches it every day. She sees all the crazy stuff that people be coming on here. So yeah, I kind of figured maybe I can kind of come on here and see if I can do something, see if I can get her to come on here. I feel pretty successful at that right now.
At manipulating. That's what that means. At manipulating right now, because that's what he did.
And I thank you for your platform to allow me to do this and express my feelings, because I do love you, Roxy. I love you so much. You my rock. You put the rock in Roxy. You my rock, girl.
Now, this is just, I've heard this before from dudes that I knew back in the day. They didn't mean a freaking thing they were saying, but they knew that it was effective of what they were saying. This is so important because I'm going to show you what happens to young ladies who get caught up in this.
I wish we could get the girl on the live.
Yes, I like that. She better come back there.
She had put a restraining order on me. So
She has a restraining order on you?
She tried to put a restraining order on me. She tried. Yeah.
So what? Okay. So did you reach out to her? What happened when you found out?
Yeah. So I see messages in his phone, and I actually was calling her from his phone because his phone had broke. So I bought him a new phone.
That is a good question, Tam. With the exception of Tam, Cupcake, once again, if everyone is a hyena, as we've heard you say, Cupcake, why do you keep requesting this channel? You're covering a hyena right now. You mean the woman who got cheated on? So, so that's what it is. So when a woman gets cheated on, she turns into a hyena. It's not the guy. The guy has the right to cheat, right? No cupcake. The guy has a right to cheat in your mind. But she's a hyena for standing up to herself. Very interesting.
And so I had connected the phone back. And so I was calling her and she wasn't answering. And so she finally answered. And I was talking to her and I'm like, so, you know, how do you know him? And she was like, yeah, you know, I know him. We've been messing around. And I'm like, did you know he had a girlfriend? She's like, yep, I knew about you. He told me he would never leave you, that he loves you. You know, it was just sex. And so she had told me that she stopped talking to him. And then I found out that they were talking again. So I told her I was going to whip her ass. And yeah. I got served.
You said girlfriend. So y'all were, this is before the marriage.
Before we got married, yeah.
When did y'all get married?
We got married in April of last year. So I was trying to work through it, right? I was trying to work through it. I was like, okay, we're going to go to counseling. We're going to move out of LA because I'm very well known in LA. And we were going to move forward. And so we got married and I don't think it stopped right away.
So when did you leave the last time? Like this time? When did you leave?
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so what made you leave a couple weeks ago? The same girl?
No, not the same girl. He just, I don't know, he just kind of been acting weird, going to the gym.
Acting weird. I know it sounds trivial, but keep listening because he's going to act weird and nobody picked it up. Here we go.
And stuff like that. So I just was like, what's going on?
I be trying to have you go to the gym with me. Like what? Every time I ask you, come with me.
I work a lot.
You know,
I work a lot. I work a lot.
So 3 weeks ago, I'm still, I guess I'm trying to understand because that was before the marriage. But you decided
She works a lot because he doesn't.
to marry him. So I would assume you got past that. So what was the final straw 3 weeks ago that made you say, I'm out, I want an annulment? Like what happened? What was the big to do?
He's still flirting with girls on social media. And so, I mean, I don't know what's going on. If you're flirting with girls on social media, then I don't know what else you're doing. And I don't physically have the time to be searching and looking like last time, you know, like I feel like if you got to go through your man's phone, you probably shouldn't be with him, right? That's probably like
bars.
The first sign. And I feel like, okay, if I feel like something's going on, I don't have time to be going through your phone again. I'm just going to leave. So that's what I did.
All right. Well, listen, we got to go. Some people, okay, I got to be honest. I'm not a part of this. So if it is a skit, Kendra's not a part of the skit. Some people think you guys are doing a skit. I think I did at one point in time, but I don't feel that anymore. I actually believe that y'all are really going through this marital separation. So I do believe your story. So I guess Roxy and Crystal, I want to hear from y'all. Crystal, let me know about the end of the year if you guys get back together or not.
Man, we will. We will. I got faith. I'm a firm believer in God, and I know God does all things. So
yeah, right. But he has no problem cheating. Yeah, firm believer in God, but cheats all the time.
All right. Well, if the good Lord going to bring your.
Okay, let me bring it back to the spot here.
And so she had told me that she stopped talking to him.
Okay, let me go back.
Can kind of come, come on here and see if I can do something.
Style. Everyone's saying you want your wife back, but yet you did call a dating show looking for someone else. So that's a lot of the comments.
It every day. She sees all the crazy stuff that people be coming on here. So yeah, I kind of figured maybe I can kind of come on here and see if I can do something.
Manipulator, yes. Okay.
I'm anti people. I'm not really like, but she got me like that. She's the only. I'm gonna be real. The way you've been acting, like yeah. Mm. And a part of me felt like you was gonna catch wind of it, so I felt like because you be doing petty shit too.
What did I do? You the one that cheated, not me.
You doing petty shit though too, man. No. Trying to make me jealous and stuff like that. That's that's not cool.
What did she do to try to make you jealous?
Man, she just little petty shit. She knows what gets me mad and stuff like that. Cause she knows that I'm trying to get in contact with her, and so
I don't
it's
know why
been
the
rough.
comments are saying I cheated. I never cheated. I never cheated.
Well, I
got you,
brought
though.
up to Roxy why I actually said I wasn't sure if I think you should return because he called me and I was like, if you really want your marriage, then stop playing games. Like, yes, things happen in marriages and relationships, but you have to decide if you really want it back. I feel like now that you're here, he is really speaking and, like he wants you back. So, I'm a sucker for love. So
I'm a sucker for love too. Listen, Kendra. Listen, Kendra.
But you can't play with her though.
I'm anti people. I'm not really like, but she got.
Let me see if this is it.
Listen, I got a lot going on too. So, but it's all about the focus. Got to focus on that focus so that we can get past all this.
I'll think about it.
I love you. I love you more than life itself.
Oh my God. He's so full of shit.
Man, I'm forever. You can't help how I feel. This my part. Except the fact.
Let me stop it right there. Now I'm going to show you what happens.
Throughout these three.
Remember Darrell Brooks? He's the guy who ran into 6 people and deleted them. And basically, at the parade, he ran them over in the red truck. Remember that? Well, this is the court session for him right here.
We have sound.
Let me go forward.
Yeah.
Let me try if I can find out.
We have someone's litigated here. That's my other plate.
I got to bring it back down like this. And pull it forward.
I had other.
I want to start right where the lawyer starts, right there.
First, Mr. Torbenson.
With regards to victim notification, we notified Erica P. of today's date, these proceedings. We were hopeful that we would have a victim impact statement from her for your honor. Unfortunately, there have been some recent political ads that have featured what happened out in Waukesha that have resulted in recurrent trauma for her. She has chosen not to be here today. She has chosen not to file the victim impact statement. I will hopefully relay to the court as best I can the impact that this has had on her, the enduring impact it has had. But she has made the choice, the conscious and deliberate choice not to be here today because of that.
All right. I appreciate your making that record.
I did file a documentation from Crime Victim Compensation for restitution.
I saw it. Thank you.
When considering the serious nature of Mr. Brooks' offenses, Mr. Brooks' character, and the need to protect the public, the state is respectfully requesting that the court sentence Mr. Brooks to a substantial prison sentence in the Wisconsin state prison system. We are leaving the length of that substantial prison sentence up to the sound discretion of your honor. On November 2nd of 2021, Erica P. was staying in a hotel when she heard a knock on the door. She opened the door to find Mr. Brooks there, who was immediately argumentative with her, confronting her, took her cell phone away from her to prevent her from calling anyone for assistance or help. Erica left the apartment building and began walking down the street, and Mr. Brooks got into his red truck and followed. He would corner Erica at a gas station, get out of the truck, continue to argue with her, punch her in the face, resulting in a swollen eye, repeatedly attempt to get her inside of the vehicle. And then when she refused to get inside the vehicle, he would get inside of that truck and run her over. She suffered.
Well, that's creative, isn't it? He actually ran over his ex-girlfriend. Who knows the freak why? It doesn't matter. To me, it really doesn't really matter. Yeah, that greasy bandit had us all getting treated bad here in Milwaukee. Yep.
A dislocated femur, a fractured ankle. She had a swollen eye. She had cuts to her legs. And perhaps the most vivid picture taken by the Milwaukee Police Department is that of her pants, which show the tread marks from Mr. Brooks' tires, the tracks on her pants that had to be cut off her at the hospital so that she could be treated. That same day, November 2nd of 2021, there was a young prosecutor in the Milwaukee County DA's office. She was finishing a domestic violence felony jury trial. There was no victim that showed up for that trial, but she chose to go forward on it. She obtained 2 guilty verdicts from that case. That evening and the next coming days, after proceeding on a trial, she would review 22 domestic violence referrals, one of which was this case. She would reach out and try and make contact with Erica, and she couldn't get a hold of Erica. The allegations were so severe, so serious, that this young ADA chose and said, this case needs to be charged. Something needs to be done about this. So without victim input, this prosecutor issued charges of obstructing an officer, disorderly conduct, misdemeanor battery, and second-degree recklessly endangering safety, in part because we didn't have the medical records from Erica. Unknown to this prosecutor, unknown to the district attorney's office, was what Mr. Brooks was doing after he was apprehended and in the Milwaukee County Jail. One day after being apprehended and in custody, he would reach out and make a phone call and involve his own mother in intimidation. He would ask his own mother to reach out to Erica and tell her not to show up to court. That if she didn't show up or if she told them she was not going to cooperate, that the charges would get dropped altogether.
He is absolutely the poster child for having the death penalty. No two ways about it.
Basically, I agree as well. It's like this when it's as obvious as this. Just put the guys out of their misery. That's how I think about it.
One day later, on November 4th, he would make direct contact with Erica P. His words to her, "Why did you do this to me? You know I love you."
Did you see how familiar? Did you catch it? Did you see how familiar his phrase was to Dude's phrase on Kendra's show?
Listen, listen, listen. I've come to the realization that I'm not going to leave you. You have my daughter. I know your potential. I know what you can be. I want to marry you.
Does that sound familiar? Even when Dusty's cheat and do down low, dirty things, they will lie. They will lie and say they love you and all this other shit. People know when they are loved. That's why that manipulator was saying that.
I'm not going to play anymore. Will you marry me? And then the very next sentence, then you need to call them people, meaning you need to call the prosecutor, you need to call the district attorney's office, you need to make sure that these charges are dropped. 2 days after running over his girlfriend and the mother of his child, he's using emotional manipulation, promising a future, promising marriage, promising change, all in an effort to try and get Erica to drop the case and the charges.
Let me break something down. This guy is not a content creator. He's not up on there trying to talk bad about nobody. He is stating facts of an event that happened. And the sad part is these are facts of events that happen all the time to Black women in our community. All the time.
1,008 days. And blaming her, telling her it was his fault she was facing, in his words, 60 fucking years. And telling her she should have kept her mouth shut. Telling her the pain it was going to cause his mother because she called the police and made a report. The tenor of those calls would change significantly from emotional manipulation and promises of a future to direct threats of violence. Telling Erica that he had people out in the street watching her, that if she moves, he could tell his people to move, that he could have her taken care of if she didn't make efforts to have the case dropped.
That sounds very familiar. Very familiar. That's how these dudes operate. That's how they operate. All of them.
Mr. Brooks is a really smart individual. He knew that her medical records would be crucial in this case. He told her not to sign a medical release.
I dispute that.
And that if she did not come to court, in his mind, there was no way that the state could prove the charges and the case would be dropped.
Pause that right there. Let's see what the result was. I think we've got the picture, don't we? This is her testimony. Here we go.
Erica Patterson, the ex-girlfriend of Darrell Brooks, opens up about the convicted Waukesha parade killer and her experience testifying at trial.
Now, remember, this is the Waukesha parade killer. And this young lady was definitely his ex-girlfriend.
In a brand new interview, and she really doesn't hold anything back. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Darrell tried to make himself, just like he did in court, he tried to make it seem like it was all about me. When you kill people, you killed them, but you want to make it about me.
Interesting development for you right now in connection with the Darrell Brooks case out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Now, this is the man who was convicted of 76 criminal charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide for killing 6 people and injuring dozens of others after driving his SUV into a Christmas parade. It was a wild trial that we covered here on Sidebar and also the Law and Crime Network. We covered it from beginning to end, and it was a trial where Brooks represented himself, constantly getting into fights with the judge. He would get kicked out of court. He would bring up nonsensical legal theories. Just a very unique trial watching experience, to say the least. Well, now, one of the main players in this case has spoken out. Erica Patterson. This is Brooks' on again, off again girlfriend, definitely his ex-girlfriend right now. This was the woman that he attacked right before the parade event. She did an interview with the Norman Nick Show on YouTube. And I will tell you right now, she really doesn't hold anything back. Going to give you a little context here. Erica Patterson testified against Brooks when she was called as a witness by the state.
He drove up farther more, and then that's when I jumped. It was on the up the hill. It was farther more, and then that's when he hit me, and I jumped out of his car. Well, his mother's car.
Where were you sitting when he hit you?
The passenger side front seat.
Where was
Pause right there. Why Seeking Knowledge? Drop some more knowledge right now. Why Seeking Knowledge says this about the statements that this creep was making, the Waukesha dude. That's why you can't let them implant that game in your head and separate at the first sign of abusive intent.
was he sitting?
Driver's side.
What did he use to hit you?
His hand.
Was it an open hand, a closed fist?
Yes.
And she was also cross-examined by Brooks.
The second incident on November 21st did not happen on Frame Park. We were driving around and he hit me.
What
The
I'm
first
asking
incident.
is where you were at when you met him.
Frame Park, yes.
On
That's
both,
not what you
on both
just
alleged
said.
occasions.
Yes. That's how Mr. Brooks knew where Frame Park is. He already knew Waukesha area in the first place.
Same park.
Yes.
Hey guys, Sean Sticks Larkin here from On Patrol Live. The holiday season's upon us, and if you're looking for that perfect gift to stuff down in that stock, you don't want to.
She was also called as a witness during his case.
Do you recall having any phone interactions during that time when you and your roommate were at the park?
Phone interactions, yes.
Do you recall who they were with?
You.
Well, first things first. In this interview with Norman Nix, Erica Patterson takes issue with what Brooks was trying to do in his questioning, and even the idea of having to testify in the way that she did.
So when Darrell was on the stand, I don't know if you saw that last part when he was trying to talk and trying to ask you about drinking. Do you feel he was asking you that to try to entrap you to get kicked out of the shelter?
Darrell was doing all that to get under my skin, to kick me out of the shelter. He wants my life to be the fact that I'm not with him, that he knows that he's never getting out of jail. He wants to ruin my life. And that's why I feel like that's not a lie. Because I had to testify against him twice. Not once, but twice. And everything he was saying, he was trying to get under my skin. First of all, why would y'all let somebody that's been abused by somebody let him question the person that you see how I was acting? I said, you hit me. He's like, oh, you were at the park that day before I met you. Drinking. Yep, with my best friend. You said I didn't lie. I didn't lie about Darrell is
Fair
just
enough.
trying to put it on me.
So what she was referring to is when Brooks was questioning her on the stand about her drinking habits and her seemingly trying to insinuate she was a bad mother. From a legal point of view, the argument could have been that Brooks was merely trying to impeach her credibility. But as you heard from Miss Patterson, she thought that this was a vindictive way for him to not only tarnish her character, but possibly get her kicked out of a shelter. Now, she does make an interesting point here. How on earth is it?
Wait a minute. I thought, everything that we touch turns to gold, black man. Why does she have to live in a shelter? Well, wait, she should have chose better, right? Now you want her to choose. First, you want her to choose black. You wanted to always bet on black. She bets on black, and it didn't go well. It's quite clear it didn't, right? But then now you'd say she should have chose better. Funny.
Fair for an abuse victim to be questioned by her abuser. That's a very fair critique. But that is how our judicial system works. When a defendant decides to represent himself or herself, defendants have a constitutional right to represent themselves. And if they do that, they have a right to cross-examine state witnesses, including alleged victims. We saw the same thing in a recent trial of a guy accused of raping and attempting to murder his estranged wife. He represented himself and he actually questioned her on the stand. This is uncomfortable. It is awkward. It is tense. But it is legal. But now I want to move on to something that Patterson talked about, something that she didn't testify to at trial, something that she wasn't apparently allowed to testify to. And that's that 2 weeks before the parade incident, she says Brooks punched her and ran her over with that same red SUV.
I'm the one that had the gash on my face. a broken finger still. My leg is still messed up. I have all these marks on me still from him. And it's like everybody's sticking up for him. Nobody understands what I went through.
Gotcha.
They don't understand it.
So that was another question that was on here since you brought up your leg. So when your leg, I'm going off memory because I didn't record our conversation. But the other day when you called me and we talked for 20 minutes or whatever, you mentioned something about a broken leg. Now, did Darrell break your leg before the parade?
He ran me over November 2nd. Yes, he did. I had the night before. I was working at Hotel Metro. I had got off of work. I went to go get me a room. I didn't want to go back to him because he's freaking crazy. Is what happened. So I got me a room all night. He was talking, calling me, talking, blah blah blah. Okay, and then the next day when it's almost checkout, because Darrell, I gave him the address. Like I said, you never know why you would. I gave him the address to the hotel. I forgot what hotel it was. It was on Appleton in Milwaukee. He came there and knocked on the freaking door, took my phone, punched me in my face. I ran down the street. He kept following me. And then we went to the gas station, the BP gas station. They have a video of this, of what he did to me. It's a video. It got recorded. He punched me again. I was bleeding everywhere. I still have the backpack and the damn shoes that he ran me over in. And after he punched me, I walked away. I would never expect him to run me over. I walked away and he ran me the over. He got charged with that. We still have cases for that. Our next court hearing is, I forgot.
This man right here, his jaws just dropped. It's like, damn. I mean, this dude, Brooks was an evil motherfucker. He was an evil motherfucker. Man. And look, this brother's right here. He's just like, what the heck?
December 18th, I think it is. December something for when he ran me over. We still have cases for this, but they would not let me bring it up.
Hold on. So this is not over. Right?
No, it's not over.
So yeah, it's not surprising she couldn't testify about this because it was too far removed from the day in question. It didn't really have a causal connection to the parade incident.
Are you kidding? He ran over her and he ran over them too. Hey, no, I'm not a lawyer. Let me shut up. I need to talk to lawyers why they would think that. I don't know. Here we go.
It would have just been prejudicial evidence, especially since he wasn't convicted of that incident with Miss Patterson. He wasn't charged with what happened in this trial. And look, we looked into this, and it seems to be that he was arrested for this and then was out on bail, and then he obviously did what he did at the parade. And we believe that there will be proceedings in relation to this happening in December. But what is just so absolutely eerie about this is how he allegedly runs her over, and then just weeks later, look what he does. The same car, the same weapon. Unbelievable. But Miss Patterson doesn't just have
That's my point.
Anger towards Mr. Brooks. No, she also talks about Brooks's mother, Dawn Woods. This is somebody who called her son a caged bird. She urged people to understand that her son has mental illness. Well, here is what Patterson had to say about Miss Woods.
There's no problem if you want to say that you have somebody who has mental issues. The problem is that when you just let them out on the community, you're saying he has mental issues, but oh yeah, it's no problem. You just let him. You just unleash him on the community to do. Well, you see what he did.
Dawn's a liar.
As far as Darrell's mother, I know you already told me, but just
Sorry.
Hold on. How many times have you seen her in public since the parade?
About 4 times. I've ran into her. I've been close to her, like I am around Corey, walking on Atkinson and Capitol, and she gets off her little bus and going to a little damn the little grocery store, Galast, Galst. I ran to his mama more than once, and she don't say to me. We don't talk. I walk past her, she walked past me.
Clearly, no love lost there. And speaking of which, a big question that people have for Miss Patterson, and Norma Nix was fielding questions from viewers, is how does Patterson feel about Brooks today? Will she ever visit him in prison? Will she ever have their daughter see him? She had some answers for that too.
Would you send him money at all in the future?
Nope.
I'm applauding. If you can't hear it on the mic, I'm applauding her.
No contact with him. The courts, the jail can let everybody know that I have not had contact with this man since the day of the parade, actually. Because I was trying to show my proof in the first place. He was lying. He lies about so much.
Do you still love him?
No.
I'm applauding again. She didn't hesitate. She didn't go, oh, she just said no. You can't. Loving monsters will get you in trouble.
At all.
Next question.
And I mean that I didn't move the hell on. No.
You're good.
No.
So I know it's been a year, and plus you're having to relive the trial. So I can imagine you. I already know. So next question that somebody wanted to ask, which you kind of answered, but I'm going to put a little bit more emphasis on it. Will you contact him for any reason in the future regarding the kid's health, a death in the family, or your success?
No.
Okay. So no, you won't get.
My daughter doesn't even like him.
What I'm saying is, in 30 years from now, you won't go visit him and say, "Look at me now."
I don't want anything to do with him.
Perfect answers. Perfect answers.
I don't want to say that on the phone. But also since I'm bad, I want him to die.
And the thing is,
no, no.
If you compare her to the young lady who was getting game ran on her by her soon-to-be ex-husband, if she followed through, you notice this young lady right here is a lot sharper. She learned her lesson, and that was it. She's out.
I'm good. My daughter didn't like him.
Believe me, you don't have to apologize for anything. If that's how you feel,
I'm sorry. I just know.
There's probably a billion other people, plus the victims of the people that died, that think the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry.
I just don't want to say it, but yeah, you know what I want to say.
All right.
Let me stop that. Now, here's Darrell Brooks getting sentenced. This is the very most recent thing about him. So this is like a couple days old.
Doubled down and intimidated her in such a manner. Mr. Jones may say it's not the worst because there wasn't any.
Thank you so much to Kelly Hyman for joining us today. Jack Wright.
Yes. Why seek knowledge? She needs time to heal. Her energy is very high. Outlook good for her. Much better than the other young lady that we saw on Kendra's show.
This is sticking around, and coming up next, Michael Ayala joining me for more from the sentencing hearing for Darrell Brooks, plus day one of testimony in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial for Deobrah Redden begins at any moment. We'll see if the state calls the judge. Well,
I think they made it clear. This is Court TV.
welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala. We're both here today giving you your front row seat to justice. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada this afternoon, where day one of testimony is set to begin any minute in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial.
Deobrah Redden is accused of attempted murder after he...
Oh, let me pause that for a minute. What did I do with that? Geez, I might need to cut this up into 2 live streams. We'll see. Okay. Okay, let me keep this going.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala. We're both here today giving you your front row seat to justice. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada this afternoon, where day one of testimony is set to begin any minute in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial.
Deobrah Redden is accused of attempted murder after he leapt over the judge's bench and began attacking Judge Holthus during a sentencing hearing earlier this year.
Now, he was initially charged with 7 total counts, including 3 counts of battery. But in a recent turn of events, he pleaded guilty to all
As a black man, I am so embarrassed.
but the attempted murder charge.
The state's case will get underway at any minute, and we wonder, could the star witness, Judge Holthus herself, be the first witness in that case? We're going to get you into that courtroom just as soon as it gets underway.
Well, we do want to begin this hour in Wisconsin, where Wisconsin holiday parade killer Darrell Brooks is back in court today.
Brooks is being sentenced on charges stemming from a vehicular attack on an ex-girlfriend that occurred 3 weeks before the November 2021 hit-and-run massacre, for which Brooks is currently serving multiple life sentences.
Now, Brooks, he pleaded no contest earlier this year to recklessly endangering safety and felony intimidation of a victim in exchange for prosecutors dropping 6 other counts.
He faces up to 10 years in prison and $25,000 on each count, plus additional monetary penalties because of his relationship to the victim. Remember, a girlfriend at the time, an ex-girlfriend now. Let's go back in now for more of the sentencing as the judge is telling him what she thinks before she makes her decision.
From her house to court on the day she was supposed to come and testify, and ran her off the road or did any of those things. Of course that could have happened, but we were 10 days out from the incident. There was no trial at that point. Who knows what may have happened at some point. This is the very first part where the only thing you're in control of is trying to get her to call the police, call the DA's office and say, I'm not in. I'm not prosecuting. So that was what you had at your disposal, was just to so berate her and so humiliate her and scare her. So as to get her to do your bidding. Because you're locked up, right? So you can't get her. But what you did was you told her, I got guys. I got guys who are going to get you. The minute you walk out your house, they're going to get you. If I wanted you dead, I'd kill you. You'd be dead. That is a horrible, horrible way to live. Because she may have 99% thought you were full of it. But that 1%, when she hears a noise in the house,
Yup.
or sends your daughter off to school. And your daughter in high school, half an hour late, coming home from school, talking with her friends, busy, whatever. And what does that do to EP? Oh my God. Did someone grab her? Is this it? Did you call those guys? Because I didn't do his bidding fast enough. That's absolutely horrendous behavior.
Phoenix Soul breaks it down perfectly. This judge is wasting her breath. Yep. In one ear going out on this dude. But I believe she said it just, she just said it.
And it is who you were.
Welcome me, Columbia.
It's who you demonstrated yourself to be. Whether that was the full content of your character, I can't speak to. But on those days, that's who you demonstrated yourself to be. I very much hope that you are on the path that you described. Because you likely have a very long life ahead of you. You spoke to your prisons, your custody status. Are you held in segregation? Are you by yourself? What goes on there?
Housed and saved.
You are?
Yes.
I appreciate the efforts that you're undertaking to better yourself, to say, this is not okay. And I've got to figure out why I thought it was. And if that is going to come through classes or anger management or reflection, as you put it, all the better. I have no idea, nor am I considering what's going to happen with appeals and all of that sort of thing. But you have to live with yourself.
Okay.
And getting right with yourself is going to serve you as well as humanity.
Right there. Darrell Brooks pleaded no contest in May to charges of stemming from a vehicular attack on an ex-girlfriend. Man, I mean, ladies, if that's the way these men in the manosphere want to treat you, I mean, look at him. I mean, he's all neatened up on everything. You know, he looks like some of the manosphere dudes. Evil as can be. So, I mean, the thing is that I just have nothing to say. I'm speechless right now. Let me keep it going. Here we go.
So, the first thing, as Mr. Jones mentioned, is that I need to consider whether probation is appropriate. No one's asking for probation. Probation is not at all appropriate here. So I reject that. So this will be a prison sentence. You asked, and I promised that I would take this as it was for itself, and I will. This incident happened before Waukesha, and I don't need to, by any sense, give short shrift to what happened there, but this is what is before this court. So I do believe that this is a prison sentence. I also adopt the state's theory of these are separate acts. Your behavior in what happened at that hotel and then following her to the gas station and running her over was one day. And then you came to jail. Not in the situation any further, not faced with her, not presumably in the midst of anger. You may have been angry about a variety of things, but not in a face-to-face, we're having an argument, anger. And you opted to violate the court's orders by contacting her, by contacting your mother and putting her in the middle of everything, and contacting EP directly and saying the things that you said, which were horrible. And I suspect she will never forget them. Because after a relationship of that length, you may be a voice that is in her head. And I'm very sorry for her for that. Conditions of time that you are serving will include absolutely, positively no contact with EP. You have said that your child with EP is 17 years old. The state is not seeking a no contact order with her, are you? With the child?
No.
No, I'm not going to do that. She's about to start college. She will be in charge of whether there will be any contact. There is a request for restitution. Have you gone over that, Mr. Jones?
There's a stipulation on that.
Okay. Restitution in the amount of $656.96 will be made payable to the Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Wait a minute, $656 for all that she went through? They better dig up what he's got.
You will have to pay the DNA surcharge as well as the domestic abuse assessment and any mandatory costs, fees, and assessments. I'm
Okay,
going
those are court fees. Those are fines. Okay.
to waive any non-mandatory. You don't have the ability to pay any more than you are going to have to pay. So I will waive those due to your inability to pay. What I have ordered will be due and payable from your prison funds at a rate to be determined by the Department of Corrections, then will be payable as part of any sort of extended supervision that you're released on. And if you are
Let me get to the sentence. I want to get to the sentence.
cannot do something that I've ordered because of your custody situation. So I'm going to encourage you to take domestic violence intervention programming,
in prison.
anger management.
Move it forward.
I am going to sentence you as follows.
Here we go.
21 CF 4596, count 3, the second degree recklessly endangering safety with the domestic abuse enhancement. I will sentence you to 9 years in the Wisconsin State Prison, 4 years and 6 months initial confinement, and 4 years and 6 months extended supervision. On 21 CF 5020, count 1, the intimidation of a witness. I will sentence you to 9 years in the Wisconsin State Prison, 4 years and 6 months initial confinement, and 4 years and 6 months extended supervision. Those counts will be consecutive to one another because they were decisions made on different days. You made volitional decisions to engage in that behavior on separate days. And it will also be consecutive to any sentences that you're serving from any other jurisdiction. That is the judgment of the court. You do have the right to appeal my sentence, and Mr. Jones will go through those rights with you. I wish you well, Mr. Brooks.
Judge, the credit?
He does not have credit given the way that I structure. 18 days credit on
4596.
Yep, 21 CF 4596. 18 days independent credit on that one.
Because she went in consecutive.
Phoenix so breaks it down perfectly. That's funny how she wants him to become less combative, just as he has to fight for his chastity or chastity or why night. All right. All right, here we go. Let me see. So he cried. Dude cried at his sentencing. But you know, he wasn't alone. He wasn't alone because let's check out Wade Wilson.
Displayed a level of callousness and manipulation.
Okay, let's see here.
Phoenix,
Okay, wait, is this it?
as he had formerly dated Jean John's daughter.
The Batman.
During rap sheet, Wilson always managed to slip through the cracks.
Okay, let me forget that one because I don't know what I did with that. Okay, but let me go over.
A lot of rappers talk crazy in the booth, but never really live that life. But Julio is the opposite. He sparked one of the deadliest wars in rap history and survived 4 shootouts. But most fans have no idea how wild his story really is. Today we're breaking it all down and diving
Let me reread this one more time. That's funny. She wants him to become less combative, just as he has to fight for his chastity every night. Yeah. He's gonna get beat up, huh?
into why his ops are terrified.
So-
Julio came up on the north side of Jacksonville in one of the most active areas of the city called 6 Block. He told Cam Capone News that he lost his first homie at just 15 years old. And by the time he was 20 years old, he already lost 15 of his friends to the streets. After he got kicked out of school in 9th grade, Julio got sent to an alternative school in Op territory, And that's
Okay, so let me pause this. This is Julio Folio, who was passed away by lead poisoning a little while ago. He's out now in the, you know, basically what happened was the gang life got to the best of him. He shot his bullets, they shot theirs, and end of story. So, but he's not the most. He's not really. You know, yeah, AKA that kryptonite. Yep. I bet he did cry. That kryptonite hit him, AKA accountability. Exactly. So this is Julio Folio.
when some crazy stuff went down. On the first day of school, someone from the op hood got killed waiting for the bus, and Folio started dissing them all over social media. A lot of people at school thought Folio had something to do with the hit, and they ended up getting into a fight over it. Throwing hands is one thing, but after the last
Yeah, well, I think I think it's a good way of saying it. I mean, it's YouTube friendly. Lead poisoning. I think I'll be using that a lot more. So check this out right here.
Hey, ain't that bad when you go to court and you and your girl can't even look at each other? Hey, like, how would you feel going to court knowing your girl done told these people everything?
They just look defeated. I'm talking about.
They were defeated before they even walked in court. They were defeated before they did the crime. They were just defeated all their lives.
They look scared.
And during a court hearing this month, Isaiah Chance appeared to be nodding along to a video posted by his gang aimed at disrespecting Julio Folio's gang.
Things are looking pretty grim for Folio's killers right now, and it seems like reality.
So we're going over Alicia Andrews mostly tonight because the other guys are bandits. But what? She's only here. Let me go back here. I'm trying to get
Are pleading not guilty to a local.
Giving off, you can tell they're feeling
Okay, let me go back. Okay. She's only in this group because she was with this nigga right here. That's the only reason she's there. And it goes to tell me that these people that bandits and mammies alike, they had this thing that, oh yeah, a man needs to lead a woman. Well, look where this man led this woman. Look where he led, literally probably as close to death row as you can get. We don't know yet, but that's a possibility. And here's the funny part. Yeah, Peen dancing. Yep, Peen dancing at his birthday party right before he caught lead poisoning. Okay, DJ. But no, so they talk about. See, this is the problem that a lot of men have, and I wish Mr. Cupcake was still here because I would have this discussion with him. I say, if men are leading women into crime, then what kind of leadership is that? I mean, I can tell. She's not like she just loved dude and said, I'll do it. I'll do anything you want. Bad decisions. Yep. Bad decisions. So this is the funny part. Now the whole rap community is mad at her. Okay. We're snitching on the rest of these niggas. Yeah. We're snitching on the rest of these niggas. Yeah. What is left? I mean, the thing is this, she was in on it. We know that. She was driving a car or something. But see, that's the kind of weakness that's in our community where a man is supposed to protect a woman, not bring her in on a capital, lead poisoning charge, You know, you're not supposed to do that. And he went ahead and did it. He went ahead and did. So this is about Alicia Andrews. So let's find out how the
Andrews are all facing murder charges.
But if you look closely at their faces and the energy they're giving off, you can tell they're feeling defeated and scared, probably realizing just how much trouble they're in.
Look at him now. He don't look big and bad now, do he? Oh, and these be the same dudes who go, yeah, the man got me in chains. He got our community in chains. Well, if you kill somebody, yeah, they're gonna put you in chains. That's what happens when you spread the lead, that you get put in chains. And you should be. If the gang, to me right now, really quite honest, when you think about it, I understand that the concept of a gang, but they are. But the problem is that they are the worst thing. They are literally the worst thing that ever happened to the Black community. There might be some other, separate things. It's not racism. It really isn't, because Black communities were back in the day, they were doing pretty good even around racism. But what really knocks down a community is all it takes is one gang. It doesn't even have to be a bunch. Just one gang in that community can take down a whole community of hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe even a million. All it takes is one. They wreak havoc every day. They cause crime. They scare everybody, and it puts everybody in a certain mindset they don't need to be in.
But it's way too late now. Fulio is gone, and you can't take back those bullets that were fired. And to make matters even worse, they've got public defenders. No one's footing the bill for their lawyers, so they're pretty much on their own. And we all know public defenders don't do much, especially for people facing murder charges. Maybe that's why Alicia Andrews is cracking under the pressure. There's been talk that Alicia has been...
She is not cracking under the pressure. As soon as they put them cuffs on her, she was like, I'm out. I'm not a gang member. I'm stupid, maybe, for getting in with, like YSC Canales is saying, she's young and naive. Police didn't need much effort to shake her down. And them too, yeah. They sing like the forest full of tropical birds on the first 48. Misogyny is just real high right now. Perfectly said.
Saying some pretty wild things behind the scenes that could seal the deal and put her partners away for life. Like, seriously, who thought it was a good idea to get your girlfriend involved in a murder plot? That's some next level crazy. Isaiah Chance, also known as Gudazai, brought his girl Alicia Andrews along. And now it looks like that decision is backfiring big time. Alicia...
Yeah, well, that's his fault. See, what they should be doing, instead of trying to blame her, they should blame themselves and say, that was a stupid thing. Why do you bring your girlfriend? You can just tell by the way if you watch her mannerisms and stuff and the way she talks and walks, you can tell this is not the life. This is how bad it can get when you make bad decisions with the wrong people around you. Bridget says, did you see the other case where they put a violent person in a cell with another inmate and he deleted him? And wow, I gotta check that out. I'll look into that.
Alicia Andrews along. And now it looks like that decision is backfiring big time. Alicia was one of the 5 people arrested in connection to Fulio's murder. And according to police documents, she's already starting to break down.
Hey, ain't that bad when you go to court and you and your girl can't even look at each other? Hey, like how would you feel going to court knowing your girl done told these people everything?
And me Columbia says they need to be in jail for life. And I agree. I'd give her, like, I don't know, 40 years, something like that. Maybe even 30 years. Hey, look, if she's making sure the other 3 bandits go in jail forever, she might be able to be redeemed. She's like, again, they didn't say they did. Notice how they did not. I want you to make something clear here. I'm not trying to absolve her for anything. Let me make that clear. But if you notice, she doesn't have a nickname. She doesn't have a gang nickname. She dated down. She dated way down. She dated way below down. And this is where she ended up. This is why Black women cannot date down, because sooner or later you're going to end up in a gang. If you keep dating down, if you keep making, compromises that have to do with character, this is where you can end up.
For interrogation, Alicia was shown surveillance footage, and she made the mistake of identifying herself in every single clip. This gave the prosecution all they needed to place her.
She didn't make a mistake. She told them everything she needed. Look, I understand, like, she's not a career criminal. Okay? She's a criminal now, but she's not a career criminal. She loved him. So she's telling this on purpose. She ain't telling all this shit on mistake. She's giving them everything she needs and they need to know. And she should. It's over. They're going to find out sooner or later. The difference from her snitching or not is maybe in a case like this, a couple $1 million of manpower. That's it. Maybe not even that. Maybe a couple $100,000 of manpower to find out the truth. She's just making things move along faster. She's saving us money, folks. Snitches to me save us money. As people who pay taxes, whether it's on a product we buy or state or county, snitches save us money. They give the government a shortcut to apprehend and adjudicate bandits, regardless of race. So yeah, hats off. Hats off to her. That no snitching crap is for criminals. It's not for us. The no snitching crap is not for us. It is for criminals. Okay. And let's see if this one, that's 18 minutes. I'm going to skip the rest because I think that's going to take up a long time. I'm going to save that one too. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save Wade, Alicia, the extended mix for a while, but I am definitely going into the judge jumper. Here we go. So here we go.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
You may remember that video well. Defendant Deobrah.
Wow, I am so proud of him. Yes, I'm kidding, of course. And it's funny because as Black men, we worried about our reputation and stuff, and then these guys walking around black male hate speech, what does Big J dude say? Oh yeah, you are what is some stupid shit about defending his honor or some stupid shit. Now, then hence They don't talk about men like this, do they? They don't bring this shit up. They don't bring dudes who actually literally obliterate our reputation. Obliterate our reputation. Why seek acknowledge that? Yeah, that was terrible, Bridget. Why seek acknowledge? I'm sorry, that leap though. LOL looked like a living in color skit. It did. It. Yeah. Yeah. The Phoenix Soul. I was so shocked they didn't. I was so shocked. I was so shocked they didn't. They had every right to give him a lead injection. You know, they didn't do it. Me Columbia, don't let these so-called gangsters trick you. They all snitching when the sentence in front of them is more than a month or two. That is true. That is true. So basically what you're saying, me Columbia, is that they're snitching everybody out. They're having a tennis match of snitching. They keep snitching stuff over the fence back and forth. Yep. Yep. First things Desi say is he was raised by a single mother. Yep. Yep.
Redden was in court last January to be sentenced for attempted battery.
But while the judge was talking, Redden ran and flew over the bench, attacking.
Well, remember now, he already had attempted battery being up in the court, and then he got this.
The judge and knocking her to the floor before he could be pulled off of her.
Today, as jury selection was getting underway, the defendant pleaded guilty to 6 of 7 counts. The remaining count of attempted murder, however, remains.
And jury selection has now begun. Court TV anchor Ted Rowlands catches us up on the case.
On January 3rd of this year, Deobrah Redden leapt and tackled Judge Mary Kay Holthus. He was in court for sentencing for a probation violation connected to an attempted battery charge, which stemmed from allegations that he had attacked somebody with a baseball bat.
Let me break something down to you. This dude right here, that wasn't the first woman he attacked. Hint, hint. I'm just giving you a hint right now, okay?
Year before. Moments before the courtroom attack, Redden asked to stay on probation instead of being sent to prison.
Based on my criminal history, I feel that I should be sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
Holthus did not like his criminal history.
3 felonies, gross 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs.
Let me play that again. Play it again.
History.
3 felonies, gross 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs.
Multiple DVs. And take a guess what race those women were. So, yeah, he needs to go.
I'm in a better place in my mind, my mental health. I have a support system. I just got hired as a teacher for, the union.
Columbia nails it. The single parent excuse is played out. I know people that only had a father or a mother who didn't make these horrible decisions. Bars.
After stating his case for leniency, Holthus began to sentence him to prison.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
And oh man.
According to court documents, Redden punched Judge Holthus in the head and pulled her hair, and he punched a corrections officer multiple times and spit in another person's face. The court marshal, who ran to help Holthus, tripped as he tried to detain Redden, dislocating his shoulder and cutting his forehead, requiring 25 stitches. Redden is now facing a slew of new charges, including attempted murder, battery on a protected person, and battery on an officer. He invoked his right to a speedy trial and has pled not guilty.
He's also pleading not guilty based upon reason of insanity. Just like everybody
See, that reason of insanity gig, that's going to be the thing for the 2025. I'm telling you.
else, and looking at the video, I thought Mr. Redden was either out of his mind or on drugs at the time of this incident. But after extended discussions with Mr. Redden, Ms. Springer, and other family members, I came to find out that he suffered from severe paranoid schizophrenia.
Redden ended up appearing in front of Holthus one more time to finish the sentencing hearing.
I am making my calendar page from that day an exhibit for the court. Nothing's been changed, indicating the sentence I intended to impose.
Redden was sentenced to 19 to 48 months in prison, but now he could face decades behind bars.
You know, good for that judge for getting right back on.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I
being
was-
in front of him.
Yeah.
It was important to do that. I'm glad she did.
I was just thinking the same thing. That I was like, man, that takes a lot to get attacked and then say, okay, let's keep going, bring him back out.
No doubt about it. All right, still with us, trial and civil attorney and law professor Dante Mills. Dante,
let me pause that. Okay, we've seen enough of that one. I want to get in the mix with I believe this is it.
May it please the court, counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time and attention.
I like that. He was neither. There's no plea for stupid. Go straight to prison, sir.
3.7 seconds. 3.7 seconds. That was when the officer unclaps the handcuffs. My client heard it, turned and looked at him, and made a move for the bench. This all occurred in 3.7 seconds.
I mean, he was gone.
3.7 seconds. That was not enough time for Mr. Redden to formulate the intent to kill Judge Holthus.
No, I don't think it was that specific. I think he's always wanted to delete a woman, and it just happened to be the judge on that day. So he did think about it. He just didn't know who it was going to be until they made him mad, until he showed no impulse control.
Remember what this case is about. There is one count of attempted murder. And for there to be an attempted murder, there has to be intent to kill. As everything else in life, the story didn't begin on January 13th. This story actually occurred on April 13th, 2023. This is when Mr. Redden was first arrested for what brought him in front of Judge Holthus. And basically, Mr. Redden was arrested for swinging a metal baseball bat at his brother-in-law. What was he charged with? He was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. He was also apprehended by the police, and he was taken into custody. When you're taken into custody, you're supposed to, within 48 hours, stand before a magistrate so they could decide the question of bail or not. Mr. Redden, on April 13th, told the officers that had him in custody that he refused to be transported. So he was just going to stay in custody without these charges being read to him. The following week, they waited some time, continued the matter. On April 20th, 2023, Mr. Redden, he failed to leave his jail cell again. And he says that he wasn't coming to the hearing. They had to continue the hearing. Again, on April 25th, Mr. Redden refused to be transported to the heading. Finally, the Justice Court Judge Jacinto, he did an order that says, by any means necessary, he needs to be present in this courtroom. So on April 26th, the officers got Mr. Redden and he was present. The judge then, he's handed the charges. The judge asked him if he understood the charges. Mr. Redden didn't even respond to the judge's questions, even though he had a copy of the information, which was assault with a deadly weapon, on his person. And not only did he not answer the judge's questions, he became disruptive in the court proceedings. At this point, again, we have almost a week plus that we see this individual not coming to court. Once he gets to court, he's being disruptive and he's not participating in the court proceedings. At this point, his attorney, which was a public defender, then petitions the court to send him to what's called competency court.
I'm going to pause it right there for a minute. He lawyered up. Redden lawyered up. He got some very expensive lawyers. We know that he didn't have the money. Where did he get the money from? Where it seems Black men always get their money from, their mom. She probably had to put her house up to do it, though. Because we're looking at $100,000 at least. Maybe there was some GoFundMe that might have saved the day, but for the most part, it's always the woman that suffers.
Competency court is a whole nother court.
Okay, I'm going to go past that.
You're not displaying courtroom behavior, not helping your attorney out. We can't sit here and prosecute you. Go ahead. So basically, he's found.
So I want to hear the leadership arguments from the manosphere. Like, what did he? I mean, what kind of leadership was this man expressing when he jumped over and tried to delete a judge? Which I do honestly, in that moment, I truly believe he tried to do that. I believe what you have to ask yourself is that if it took 5 men to stop him from continually beating on the judge, what would have happened if they never got involved? What if they weren't in the courtroom, or they didn't get there fast enough? Yep. Why Seeking Knowledge nailed it. But this is what it yields you. Wait, let me read this first one. That behavior is praised in Boosie fear. Yeah, it probably means you a man. You's tough, you's bad. But this is what it yields you. Then they cry like bees while singing old Negro spirituals and begging resources from their female family members. They deserted by getting locked up. Bars. Why Seeking Knowledge had
going on. You're not displaying courtroom behavior, not helping your attorney out. We can't sit here and prosecute you. Go ahead. So basically, he's found on May 23rd, he's sent to Lake Crossing. Lake Crossing is a mental institution here in town. And what they do at Lake Crossing is make sure that you're evaluated to test your competency. Sometimes, people are sent there and they have
okay. So basically, what they're trying to do is say he's crazy. So this is what that we know about this kind of thing. If you're trying to nail somebody down for being crazy, then you know they're guilty. So they better be crazy. This is a hard play right here. That's why he had to get some very expensive lawyers because if he doesn't get certified as crazy, who knows how many years he'll be in jail.
So in regards to Mr. Redden, he was evaluated and it was determined by Dr. John Paglini, who will be here and he'll testify.
Oh man, Phoenix, so I wouldn't have fronted him any concessions to get lawyered up. Nah, sir, you're gonna have to sit. Protect your booty.
In regards to this case, and in regards to his finding
Indiana, mom in the house
of incompetency. And there are other psychiatrists because there at least has to be two that make that determination. And what they determined was he was incompetent to stand trial. And so he was given a course of medication because his evaluation indicated that during this course of medication that would calm him down, bring him back to earth, bring him to a person that we can work with.
This is the problem with medication and with this excuse is it doesn't matter. I mean, the thing is this. They know that if they don't take their medication, they're going to go nuts. He obviously stopped. I guarantee you they're not refusing him his medication. They did never have refused him his medication. There's a point where they have to take responsibility for taking responsibility when it comes to taking their medication, if that's the excuse you want to go down to. So that's the problem I have with this. Here we go.
That he can go to court, he can understand the proceedings and not be disruptive in court. So Mr. Redden, when you go back to that one, I just want to make the last point that he was released from condo. He gets and he doesn't get it for 2 months. So from November 1st to 2020, and November 1st, 2023 to January 3rd, 2024, a period of 60 days, he does not have his medication that put him in that state where we saw the appropriate.
I don't think so. I'll tell you why I'm not going for it. Is like if your medication runs out and your symptoms come back, you can't control yourself when you cannot control yourselves. Sandy, saving these Negro one day. Welcome. You cannot control yourself. He controlled himself before he jumped the judge. As soon as he heard the words of not going, of literally that he was not going to get out of jail free ticket, that's when he went off. That's why I'm not buying the medication thing, because he would have been showing symptoms because he wouldn't have been able to stop from showing symptoms without it. Why seeking knowledge? So society pays since he doesn't want to be responsible enough to swallow some pills. Exactly. And to be more accurate, why seeking knowledge, it appears that it's women who suffered the most, including the judge. Now, if you watch that, the only reason he was fighting the men was because he wanted to continue to beat on the judge. He wanted to finish the job. And they were in his way. That's the only reason he got in a fight with the other guys. This is what I would call extremely toxic misogyny, where it definitely appears women set him off. Yep. Nah, bruh. This is from Phoenix. So, nah, bruh. Not beyond his med site is some BS. I'm going to have to concur with that. I'm going to have to concur. I agree. So let's keep going.
Behavior, what you're seeing today. Basically, he's under that medication that he had when he.
Well, he was quite calm. I mean, he was quite calm before she started to give him a sentence. When the day that he went off and he did his judge jumping, he was very calm. So I'm not digging it. I'm not digging it.
He was in CCBC, and that's why he's displaying, good decorum, appropriate courtroom behavior. He's not going to wild out, and trust me, I'll tackle him if he tries to, do anything like that.
He was this calm before. He was this calm before.
But bottom line, that's not going to happen because he's medicated, he's calm, he understands what the proceedings are and what's going on right now.
The question is why was he not medicated before? Why wasn't he medicated before, for the judge's sake? Why wasn't he medicated for all those people that he put hands and feet on? Mostly women. That's the question I want to know. While seeking knowledge, yes, that was fatal misogyny. A woman telling him something he didn't want to hear. We are looking at the type that will hit a woman for not giving up the number. Yes, no, even for hit. Please, they've gone beyond that too. Why seeking knowledge that they're into lead poisoning. They're into lead poisoning women. It's crazy to me. It doesn't take much. No impulse control. I want somebody to. Where did Cupcake go? I want him to tell me how Cynthia G was wrong. I want him to come back to this. I want him to come back and either watch the video now or later and tell me, argue with me, how is Cynthia G wrong? Watch him jump the judge, rewind it, watch other all the crime stories. Yeah, Cupcake's a man. Well, yeah, he's a man. He's no cupcake zone. That's what he calls himself. He's a guy. Bridget, remember the guy who was on the panel, I guess about a week or two ago, who was plastered? That's no cupcake zone. And I'm not trying to diss him or anything, but that's just what he was at the time. And to me, I hope he gets help because I would hate for him to be in a state where he's putting that burden onto somebody else, male or female.
During this 60 days, Mr. Redden slipped back into his unstable mental state. The same mental state that he had when he was first arrested for assault with a deadly weapon and charged and eventually pled to attempted assault with a deadly weapon.
I'm not going for it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going for it. It doesn't, and really at the end of the day, when you think about it, I'm really sorry that he's going through these mental things and these issues. But why should we as a community, not just me, but the community, suffer for this man's freedom? And I mean, hey, look, you know something? Put him on a desert island. Something like that. Maybe we should have an option for that for these kind of weird things. But no, he can't be. He can't. He's all he's going to do. It's funny how he targets women. No. He's got a heat-seeking missile for women. That's the problem.
Next.
And I guarantee you, what you saw him do to the judge, he's done to other women. I guarantee you. As soon as they told him something he didn't want to hear, that's what he did. This is not about him, his overall health, mental health. Yes, it has something to do with mental health, but he's obviously not willing to get help for it. He's only going to get help for it. It's funny that people only get help for mental health when they know that it means cutting off years of their sentence, and that's it. Phoenix Soul breaks it down perfectly. I'm not sorry for him. We all have issues we have to work through. Bars. It's your choice that you define you. He is the weakness embodied.
Then we have this.
Oh, they went through this, and then let me go. So he goes through that. He just goes through the whole spiel, but I want to play. Where is it? Oh, this is it.
I appreciate that, but I think it's
Okay, let me go forward.
Hired as a teacher for, the union.
After stating his case for leniency.
Okay. This is him. This is him right before he does the jumping. Watch closely. Watch this closely.
Place in my mind, my mental health, I have a support system. I just got hired as a teacher for, the union.
After stating his case for leniency, Holthus began to sentence him to prison.
I think it's
okay. Go. Does he look like he's crazy right now? This is right before he did his thing. Now watch.
I'm in a better place in my mind, my mental health, I have a support system. I just got hired as a teacher for, the union.
After stating his case for leniency, Holthus began to sentence him to prison.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Okay. I don't know. And Bridget brings up a good point. Yes, we are all hyenas. Now what? That's hyena. What you just saw on the screen there, that's hyena shit. That's hyena shit. That's hyena-ish. There you go. You saw how calm he was when he thought he was going to get his way. Did you see that? Did you see how calm and composed, just like he was in the court when his expensive lawyer was talking? And let me tell you, those are some expensive lawyers. He's got more than one. Okay. Black men want to go around calling black women hyenas. Well, what, sirs, fellas, what is this shit here?
Began to sentence him to prison.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else. Because
I want you to answer. I want to hear an answer. Write it in the comments if you're watching the replay. I want to know. I want to know what.
I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
What's that? If women are hyenas for like standing up to whatever they're doing, what's this shit here? What's this shit here? I'd like to know. If you have some information to explain how you can watch men do this to women and other men, because he beat the shit out of some men too, and then call women hyenas, well then what level is this? Is this rabid dog level? What is it? Yeah, you're right, Sandy. He said it. He said that with his demonic chest. Exactly. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words because it's like, how can you call somebody else something negative and do this.
According to court documents, Redden punched Judge Holthus in the head and pulled her hair, and he punched a corrections officer multiple times and spit in another person's face. The court marshal, who ran to help Holthus, tripped as he tried to detain Redden, dislocating his shoulder and cutting his forehead, requiring 25 stitches.
That's how much force he was using. Where he literally injured two men. One had a gash on his face. One, he pulled a muscle or something. That's a lot of force. That's a lot of force. You guys talk about cupcake. Why $6? YouTube is the only place cupcake can get attention from women. Negative attention is better than being ignored for him. Anyway, yeah.
Redden is now facing a slew of new charges, including attempted murder, battery on a protected person, and battery on an officer.
I mean, he had the problem he has is he's not a tiny guy. So he has the full capability of literally, I mean, how many stories have we heard men choking women to the upper room? It's like it's common. So there you go. There you go. So let me go forward here. I thought, okay. 1 second here. Let me tell you something, though. He is suited and booted. He looks like he could be working for a technology firm. Look at that suit. That's a $500 to $1,000 suit he's got on, or at least it seems like it. Look at that suit. I'd wear that shit. Oh, yes, yes, I would wear that suit. And we don't know that he's been a lifetime hands and feet expert.
Types that come to the district court, which are basically felonies and gross misdemeanors.
Are there various types of hearings associated with criminal cases?
There are.
Would that include arraignments, guilty pleas, sentencings, revocations, and trials such as this?
It would.
Can you explain to the jury briefly what a guilty plea hearing is and how it unfolds?
A guilty plea hearing is when, obviously, most cases don't go to trial, they negotiate. And it's a negotiation between the defense attorney and the state. Defendant will enter into a guilty plea agreement. And then at the guilty plea hearing, we do a canvass. They review paperwork, sign off on it, and then we also engage them orally to make sure they understand everything they're doing and the rights that they're giving up in exchange for their guilty pleas.
Subsequent to a guilty plea hearing, is in the matter set for sentencing.
Okay, so anyway, they go through this, right? And let me see here. I'm trying to get to the good stuff.
I pointed out your violent history, your failure to appear, and I don't remember whether mental illness came up, but I had said that he had been through mental health court. In his PSI, he had claimed that mental illness wasn't an issue for him, so it's kind of hard.
Bridget, there's an old movie called No Country for Old Men, and in this room here, There's no country for incels. This is not the room for incels. I'll tell you that. They could come through, but they expect to get something, you know.
I didn't know how to reconcile it, but anyway, he had talked about he was going to have a job with the Teamsters and he was going to do all this stuff. Meanwhile, he had no employment history whatsoever. That, at least according to the PSI, there was no employment history. So
yeah. So basically, if he has no employment history, and she knows, okay, that basically means he's been a bum all his life.
I don't know where he was going, but anyway, he was calm, and he said,
Go ahead.
I think you should give me probation. He said, and we did have we talked about his criminal history, and it's just so much violence. And
Let me ask you some very specific
Sure.
questions. When Mr. Redden was speaking in court, did you observe any signs of impairment?
No.
Did you observe any signs of mental distress or disease or hallucinations or anything of that nature?
Absolutely not.
Had you
Me
observed
either.
something to that effect, would it have been concerning to you?
Of course.
Are there times in which the court needs to jump in and say, hey, it's not appropriate to proceed today?
Absolutely.
Here, did you see anything that caused you concern while Mr. Redden spoke?
Not at all.
After Mr. Redden spoke, who spoke next?
Mr. Almasi,
And who was that?
his attorney, Caesar.
And was Mr. Almasi permitted to make a full argument to the court and ask for leniency and whatever he wanted?
He was.
And did he do so?
He did.
Now, in a moment, I want to play some video for you. Judge, with the court's permission, we've previously stipulated to 58. May I publish?
You may. No, they should, let me see. No, they should be on already, but maybe the TVs went off. Somebody has. Oh, he has it, okay.
Let me fast
Position
forward.
of sentence or legal cause or reason why judgment should not be pronounced against you at this time?
No, Judge.
The virtue be.
3697.
Is that your courtroom on January 3rd of 2024?
It is.
And is that your current courtroom?
It is.
As you look around this courtroom, is it set up a little bit differently than yours?
It is.
The folks that are on the right-hand side of the screen, do you know who they are?
Yeah.
Who are
The
they?
deputy DAs, Jory Scarborough and Richard Scow.
Okay.
He is.
Is supposed to.
Okay, let me show you something here. Okay, you see this this guy right here in the corner, you can barely see him. He's quite popular and quite expensive.
Judge, before we move on with the video, I want to follow up on a question I asked you earlier. You had mentioned PSI. What does that actually mean?
Pre-sentence investigation report.
And is that, as you described, several pages long, and it would give not only criminal history of an individual, but where they're from, their childhood, their background, their marital status, their health, and various other things.
Yes.
Essentially, it's a packet that is supposed to give you everything you need to sentence an individual appropriately.
Correct.
These individuals down here on the left, you can see at least one of them. Who are these folks?
Those are the other inmates.
And so they are in your courtroom, they're sitting where our jury.
Okay, let me go fast.
My concerns are there are crimes of violence.
Yep.
Okay, this spot right here, this is what's going on before he goes off.
PSI, 3 felonies, 1 probation revoked. But I do see on page 5, there are many probation violations or remands on a probation with honorable discharge for. But I am concerned based on the nature of the criminal history, home invasions, battery, domestic violence, assault with a deadly weapon in this case that led to an attempt battery substantial. I think felony is appropriate, and I think a prison term would be appropriate.
Is there any restitution or victim impact?
No, Judge, not that we have today, so. But I do think prison is appropriate. I asked the court to impose 19 to 48 on this case based on the criminal history and the facts of this case.
Judge, could you hear that okay?
Uh-huh.
When the deputy district attorney asked for 19 to 48, just describe what that means in our.
The attempt battery with substantial bodily harm that he was charged with could be treated either as a felony, where you could get 1 to 4 years in prison, or it could be treated as a gross misdemeanor. You get up to 364 days in the Clark County Detention Center. He was asking that it be treated as a felony, the 1 to 4, and he was asking for the maximum sentence under that felony, 19 to 48. It's 19 months to 48 months. Here in Nevada, you get a max and a minimum sentence. So you get the 48 months or the 4 years. The minimum is supposed to be a truth in sentencing to let you know how much you have to serve before you are eligible for parole. And that would be the 19 to 48. The minimum can't exceed 40% of the maximum. So truly the maximum minimum and the maximum in this case was 19 to 48 months.
Mr. Redden, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf before I pronounce that?
So basically, I would like to tell the courts and everyone here, like, based on my criminal history, like, I feel that, like.
Look how relaxed he is, and though he's not exactly the most eloquent, he's definitely under control.
I shouldn't be, like, sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
Huh?
Have you looked at your criminal history?
I actually just, I looked at it.
Well, you lived it.
I just looked at it.
You lived it, I suppose. Oh, sorry. I know. Okay.
You know,
3 felonies, gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs.
Multiple DVs.
Got a lot going on, sir.
Yeah, I just figured, like.
Battery on a protected person, robberies.
Battery on a protected person, which probably that is a woman, okay, or an older woman.
Attempt home invasion. Go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I just figure, like, I'm in a better place in my mind, my mental health. I have a support system. I just got hired as a teamster for, the union, making $20 an hour. And like the reason behind every single domestic violence, I've been dealing with mental health, and I didn't know that I was dealing with mental health. And they put me in mental health court, and I still didn't know.
Now, did you hear that? Every single domestic violence, I was dealing with mental health. So that's very interesting that he said that, because it's all that he just admitted that. I mean, unless he's, bi or something, then those were all women, right? So he has that smoke for the women. And it's like this. After you, let's say he, he battered one woman, wouldn't you say, even if he wasn't caught by the police, wouldn't he say, something, there's something wrong with me. Let me look into it. He didn't even bother because he didn't care.
Know that I had a mental health problem until it was August 2022 when I realized I had a problem with this, and like having a dictionary and like understanding myself, getting to know myself a little better, and applying it to my personality, and having an epiphany at that moment in those instances, and just like trying to learn from my mistakes, And I feel like I shouldn't be sent to prison. But if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. But I figure that You know, if I'm in a better place in my life, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not out there committing crimes now. You know, and I feel like I should be given a shot because I'm in a better place than I was then. You know, so
Now he just admitted he's in a better place. That's a really important thing to note. He said he was in a better place at that time. Like he's mentally sane. That's a better place from being crazy, right? Multiple DVs. Yep. Dude, sit the yeah, the other mom. Dude, sit the F down. Multiple DV problems, but still takes no accountability. Right. It's the drugs. Now it's the lack thereof. Like he isn't a friggin' common denominator for all of his issues. Exactly.
I'm a person who never stops trying to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is. And I just
never stops doing the right thing. Let me shut up.
You know, and I'm trying, and I never give up trying to do the right thing. I know I'm not a rebellious person. I don't want to be standing there. I want you to have to, sit up here and waste your time as well. You know, but the criteria of me saying this is that I'm a person that never stops trying to do the right things, even if it's hard. And I did the best I could. I have mental problems.
Thank you.
Judge,
I'm going to pause it right there. Perfect. Why is he's not used to having to explain. If he's out all night cheating, he just beats his girl. Yeah, beats his girl up. She gets mad about anything. Beat her up. Yep. He didn't pay attention to the venue. Only the sex. Bars.
Contained the pre-sentence investigation report. My client was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And in speaking with him, it certainly seems that he's following the pattern that this court has seen so many times. So self-medication.
We've had 2 goes at mental health court.
Phoenix, so your mental problems that you're alive, sir.
He does have to honor the discharge from probation. So he can do probation. He can be successful when supervised. It is true.
He's successful when supervised. That's a problem, though. He's not supervised if he's not in jail.
He did get dishonor discharge. He was revoked on a gross misdemeanor that he was supervised for. This very reason.
Indiana mom, he's violent, dangerous, and needs to be under the prison. If he'll attack a sitting judge who's a woman on camera, who's a woman on camera, imagine what he'll do what he'll do to a woman in the privacy of home, or has already done, Indiana mom, because he's got some DVs stacking up, already has. Yep.
He is at a different position now. His foster mother, who is present as a show of support, her name is Karen Springer, has provided him a place to live, which is listed on the PSI.
There it goes again. There we go again. Who's taking care of a grown man? Who's taking care of the grown man now? A woman.
His current address at 8 Rose Circle, apartment.
But he's the leader, right? But he's the leader, right? He's supposed to be the leader of the family, right? He's the leader of the Hands and Feet Club. We know that.
Las Vegas, and she very graciously has allowed him to stay there rent free until he gets on his feet.
Indiana mom needs supervision. ... Like a toddler.
Now he is now part of Union 631 with the Teamsters and is hoping to work his way through that program so that he can maintain work. He's also reached out.
Up until this point, Your Honor, you have suggested a couple times that you're not buying the argument for probation. Is that fair?
Fair.
Did you just now observe Mr. Redden move his body position a bit?
Yes.
Look, there's two positions to take here. There's one position is, why are you going to put a brother in jail, right? Why are you going to put this black man? You keep putting them black men in jail, blah, 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 right? That's a narrative. That's one of the narratives. But the bottom line is this, is the judge did a lot of women, probably black, a huge favor not putting them back out on the street. We cannot ignore that fact. There are women that are traumatized by this dude. And quite possibly lives could have been saved, because you've seen our prior videos tonight. That she could have been elemental in saving those women's lives. It's like, look, she's not trying to be mean. She's like, look, this dude is going to do this shit again. That's what she's saying. They're not allowed to really say that, I don't think. But that's what they're saying. It's like, this motherfucker's going to do this again. It's guaranteed. She's like saying it's guaranteed. It's like, it's going to happen again. Not trying to punish him. I'm just trying to keep the Hands and Feet Club from spreading all out from, the Las Vegas Valley. That's what's going to, so that's the thing. That's the, I would like to see what Umar wants to do, what Umar would want to do. Would he want to put this man back out on the street? I'm like, no. One man, giving one man freedom so he can further damage the community. I'm not digging it. She made the right decision. She did everything right. And if anything, we should be considering, like, what took so long? They gave him enough chances. Many women got damaged by this dude.
You noticed that back then?
No.
Shannon West for any job prospects that are available.
You seeing that now?
I am.
Is it common for a judge and her marshal to have a bit of an unspoken language that goes on when you're sentencing people?
Yes.
You work closely with your marshal?
Very.
And those cues that you've given in court, do they have a bit of a purpose?
They do.
What is that?
So he can get ready for a remand.
And a remand means putting cuffs on.
Taking somebody out of custody and putting them in custody.
I'm going to resume the video.
Very good point, Bridget. And he just about to be at a new job. He could have attacked his boss or some other person at work. Yeah. Bars.
Two and three now. Finally, Judge, it's not just his mental health he's been contending with, but he also has a history of IEP in his education. And at 30 years old, he does not have a high school degree. And so we spoke about that as well, and I think it's high time that he did that. I think the court can trust that he is going to perform well on probation. I think he's worth this risk.
Yeah, look how calm he is. Look, remember when you're off of your psychotropic meds, you cannot control yourself. I mean, even if things are going good, you can go off.
The court wants the 1948 as suggested by the DA. I would have no issue with that, but to suspend it rather than just send him to prison for any length of time. I think it makes more sense given the circumstances and his ability to do probation successfully that he be given this opportunity.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he get a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada.
Before we let that play, Judge, I want you to do.
Okay. What you're going to hear next is the unedited version, the remix of what went down in there.
Your best to walk us through what happens next from your memory.
point. Why seek knowledge? I wonder where the prior judges, men that kept giving him the pass to keep abusing. Men long for days gone by when an officer could come ask if they were okay, then leave them to finish beating. Yep.
I remember him coming at me and really didn't think that he would ever make contact. And then I just remember it was like a crash sound. I just remember smashing into the wall. I went down, my glasses went up. I smashed into the wall. He was on me. And then I was being pulled down. I was being hit, and I don't know where and by what. I had closed my eyes. I was trying to protect my face and my head. He had me by the hair, and I was still getting hit in the head. In the meantime, I saw my law clerk who was sitting next to me, who had dove almost in front of me as Mr. Redden came at me. And he was on top trying to pry the defendant off me. By this point, I had pulled down. I was kind of laying down like in the back of the bench. I had gone my head from this side to this side. And I just remember saying, help, help, somebody get him off. I mean, in my head, I was completely defenseless. He was so determined and so violent and so, it was scary. I didn't think I was going to get out of there.
I'll give you a moment, and I want to play a little more video and back up a little bit.
No, fuck that bitch. Hey,
You can hear his family screaming for him to stop.
Don't do this. Please. Hey, where's Mary Kate? Is she okay? Hey, can you fucking radio somebody? Fucking radio somebody.
Can you do your best to describe the level of force he used when you were under the bench and we can't see in the video?
The level of force he used the entire time was superhuman. I don't know. From the time he came through the air and smashed into me, he knocked me literally almost through the wall, out of my chair.
Very good point, Phoenix. So the fact that he can look at it with a straight face says everything. No leniency, POS.
He knocked me so hard, he knocked me out of my shoes. You know, when you see a car accident.
I remember now. Just think what the kind of violence he was giving out the women that he was in a relationship with. Oh man.
People get hit so hard by a car, their shoes come off. I mean, that's how hard he hit me. And when I was down there, it didn't get less.
We saw there a couple of individuals jump in, one of them being your law clerk.
Yes.
While, if you remember, if you know, while your law clerk was trying to save you, Was Mr. Redden stopped?
He was not.
Can you describe that? What was going on physically and how?
Only by feel. Because
Do your best.
I was down in the ground and I could just feel someone going at me who was Mr. Redden, because that's where he was. And I could feel someone trying to pull him off and leave her alone. And this like they're fighting over me. I mean, Michael's trying to pull him off and he's not letting go.
Do you know, based on memory, where his hands were?
I do not.
Do you remember being struck or hitting your head while you were down behind the bench there?
Yes.
Do you remember what struck you?
I do not.
Do you remember what side of your
hands and feet? No. I'm just saying, he was using something.
Left at that point.
Did Mr. Redden continue to attack you while Mr. Lasso was pulling you?
He did.
At some point, Mr. Lasso and the others are successful in getting him physically off you. So.
3 of them. 3 or 4 of them it took to get him off me.
Yeah.
Where did
I think 3, we could say 3.5 because sometimes it was 3, sometimes it was 4, but it was definitely 4 people all together.
Did you go, or what did you do once they were able to?
As soon as I was clear enough, I literally rolled onto my bench in fetal position.
I would presume that this was extremely traumatic for you, but I have to ask, do you know if you went unconscious during the attack?
I don't know.
What is the next thing you remember after rolling into the fetal position under the bench?
I remember thinking, why is it taking so long? I mean, there was chaos in the courtroom. There was screaming, the alarms were going off, and there was still a struggle. Again, I couldn't see it. Partly my eyes were closed and partly it was out of my sight. And so I was just laying there and waiting. And then the next thing I remember is Jory coming up. Is she okay? And Michael came up earlier, Michael Lasso, my law clerk, and kind of stood by me, kind of, are you okay? And also, at least the feeling I got was that he was the buffer in case they lost control of the defendant again, because he was still very close.
While the attack was actually going on, what was going through your head?
I'm not going to get out of here. And it's a weird thing because I know that there's video and there's a part of me going, I'll be dead. But I have 3 kids. They're going to watch. And that's what they're going to see. That's what was making me so mad. Not what he was doing to me, but what he would do to my family. Okay.
Take your time. So alarms are going off, lots of physical chaos going on. Did you look around? Eventually were you able to get up and look around the courtroom?
Yeah.
What do you recall seeing then?
Well, behind the bench, there was blood everywhere.
Where did that come from, if you know?
Shane, my marshal.
Did you look at Shane?
I did.
What did you see?
Shane, his forehead was literally sliced open and the skin had been just flapping as he was trying to protect me, even though he was hurt, but he was getting blood all over the bench. There was clumps of my hair on the floor.
Man.
The calendar papers were all covered in blood.
Eventually is what I'll call the scene. Is it all secured and Mr. Redden taken away?
Yes.
I'm going to resume the video here for a moment.
Oh.
Hey, where's Mary Kane? She's right here. She's right here. Stay down. Get on the ground. Please God, please God, please God. Oh shit! Damn. He's a dog. Fucking ass. Where it should be. Yeah, go ahead.
What in the hell is he yelling? That's him yelling.
Hey, my man. Calm down. Hey, you come here. I'll take care of it. That's my guy. Come around. Huh? You hold in. That's my guy. Come around. That's my guy right there. Yo, Kelly, is medical coming? Is medical? Yeah, medical. Yeah, we need medical. Judge, you okay? This fucking ass out of here.
Man, I mean, that's it. That is chaos in there. Dang. Okay, let me pause right there. I mean, this is for real, folks. Let me bring up something else here real quick. As you can see, that was that alarm I assume was all hands on deck. That's what I believe it is. But there's one more video I need to bring into the mix. Where is it at? What did I do with it? Okay. This is it right here. Okay, I'm about to bring something up. Man, so much DV going on. So much DV. I can't find the video now. I'll probably have to put it on another live stream. But actually the defense made a I believe they made a let me check one more spot. They made a plea for him after that video. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, I'm bringing it up now. Okay. Come on, let me pull it on screen. Here we go.
K-A-Y-H-O-L-T-H-U-S.
Okay, so
He's in out of custody at the second.
Right.
so they go through this. I'm just going to go through it quick.
Sure.
Being said to you by Mr. Redden.
Okay, so we've gone through that. Now this is
Whoever's on that other side where the desk,
let me show you where they show the desk. This
Is this the area where you would?
Let me get it larger so you can see it. No, that didn't work. Oh, this should, okay. I know why. Let me give this 1 second. You see this right here? Those are blood drops. Those are blood drops. I have to wait for my system to do something first. Then I can get a bigger picture of it. Let me try this. There we go. That works out a little bit better. See, that's behind her bench. That's behind her bench. So then they go to I believe this is where they go to
Lasso, you can go ahead and enjoy your break, and if you need to use the bathroom and back, you'll certainly.
right. So they go to break, which is a recess, right? And it goes on for a while. It goes on for a while. There's no reason. It's just there's no sound. There's nothing going on, and then they come back. And this is what happens when they come back. So they have the sound off right now. They don't start the sound until the proceedings have continued. No recording, no nothing's going on right now. So he's talking to him, and he's talking to his lawyer one, two. He might be the lead this time, but this guy right here is the expensive guy. He's got two of them. They don't look very happy. They don't look very happy. That evidence was compelling. That evidence was compelling. Let me get rid of this just so we can get a bigger look. Okay. So I'm going to bring it forward a little bit. A little forward. They're saying, hey, look, this is the deal we got going on. This is what's going to go on. We need you to say this, this, and this. This is the deal. He goes, all right. All right. Okay. Then he does that, which is kind of weird. I guess he was trying to say something about, I don't know. That was kind of weird.
Battery.
Okay, so now, remember now, they're about to just continue with business as usual, right? In the courtroom. Business as usual, as meaning continuing with the proceedings. But this is what happens. Watch this. While they're about to talk, let me just say, read Why Seeking Knowledge's message. Men do not speak out of all about this behavior. Yep, you're right. Men need to stop talking about weave and running away for third world TWA, TWA, right? Third world TWA and speak life into their own, right? That stuff like this is not acceptable. Exactly.
You all may be seated. Okay, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Are there any representations that you'd like to make?
Your Honor, it is my understanding that Mr.
Let me pause this because this is very important. I'm going to bring up the volume a little bit.
Redden is going to plead guilty but mentally ill to all of the charges in the second amended indictment that was previously filed. The state is willing to stipulate to allow him to withdraw his prior pleas of guilty so that he can enter pleas of guilty but mentally ill to counts 2 through 7. And he's also pleading guilty but mentally ill to count 1.
So what he's saying is that he's pleading guilty due to some weird mentally ill. It might be guilty due to insanity, but I think let's just call it mentally ill for now because the insanity plea might be a different terminology altogether.
And that's our understanding, Your Honor. He's prepared to go forth with the plea.
Okay. All right.
But in terms of the negotiations, Your Honor, there are no negotiations. Each side will argue for a lawful sentence under the statute.
Okay. All right. Mr. Redden?
Yes.
I'm going to be asking your lawyer to state in open court the substance of the plea agreement. In other words, the primary, the most important terms of the negotiations or agreement between you and the state. Actually, this is a guilty plea memorandum.
Correct.
Okay. I want you to listen carefully, as after your lawyer's done speaking, I'm going to ask you if you heard him and if you agree that this is what the parties have agreed to enter into. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Arnold?
Your Honor, he's agreed to plead guilty, but mentally ill to count 1, attempted murder, victim 60 years of age or older. Count 2, battery on a protected person, resulting in substantial bodily harm, victim over 60 years of age or older. Count 3, intimidating a public officer. Count 4, battery on an officer resulting in substantial bodily harm. Count 5, performance of act or neglect of duty in willful or wanton disregard of safety of persons or property, resulting in substantial bodily harm or death. Count 6, battery by prisoner. Count 7, unlawful act related to human excrement or bodily fluid.
Okay. And this is what I will do. Once I canvass Mr. Redden, I will go ahead and allow him to withdraw his guilty plea with respect to the counts 2 through 7.
Thank you, Your
Did
Honor.
I get the numbers right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Redden,
Yes.
did you hear your lawyer just state the substance of the guilty plea memorandum?
Yes.
Okay. Did he accurately state the terms that you had agreed in order to resolve the criminal charges lodged against you?
Yes.
Do you read, write, and understand the English language?
I do.
Okay. Did you receive a copy of the guilty plea memorandum?
I did.
Did you review the second amended indictment?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you receive a copy of that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need me to read the second amended indictment now and before we take your plea?
No, you don't.
Okay. Before accepting your guilty plea, there's a number of questions I'm going to have to ask you in order to assure me you are entering a valid plea. If you do not understand any of my questions, will you please let me know so that I can rephrase them?
I will.
If at any time you wish to take a break in the proceedings so that you can discuss matters in private with your lawyer, will you let me know so that I can give you an opportunity to do so?
Yes.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 31.
Where were you born?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
What is the extent of your education?
12.
Did you graduate from high school?
No.
Would it be fair to say you dropped out in the 12th grade?
Yes.
Okay. You finished the 11th grade?
Yes.
Okay. Are you taking any medications or suffering from any medical, physical, or mental health conditions that would interfere with your ability to understand these proceedings and the terms of the guilty plea memorandum?
I am on mental health meds, but as long as I'm on that, I don't believe that it'll affect any of my
Okay.
resistance.
Well, I know that you've got to be on some medication, sir. I think we've been discussing that here today. But I want to know, are you taking any medications or suffering from any medical, physical, or mental health conditions that would interfere with your ability to understand what is going on here today or the terms of the guilty plea memorandum?
Oh, no.
You fully understand?
Yes.
Have you had an ample opportunity to discuss your case with your lawyer, Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Are you satisfied to have him as your lawyer and the advice that he has given to you?
Yes.
Do you understand you are entitled to have an attorney represent you at every stage of the proceeding lodged against you?
Yes.
Do you understand you're entitled to a trial by jury, at which in order to convict you, all of the jurors would have to agree that you are guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand at trial you would be presumed to be innocent, and the state would have to overcome that presumption and prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Do you understand that to do this, the witnesses for the state would have to come to court and testify in your presence, and your lawyer could cross-examine those witnesses?
Yes.
Do you also understand that your lawyer could object to evidence offered by the state at the trial and could call witnesses and present evidence on your behalf?
Yes.
Do you understand at trial, while you have the right to testify if you chose to do so, you also would have the right not to testify, and if you decided not to testify at your trial, the state would not be able to use the fact you did not testify in any way to prove its case?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering your guilty pleas, you are giving up these rights and other rights listed in the guilty plea memorandum?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what it is that they're making, this is how careful they are in court to make sure that no one's being coerced into anything, and that their decisions are made lucid with lucid thoughts. Now, they're just going through procedural stuff, and if you're interested in the procedural stuff, you can check out either Rest on Court TV or let me now know, and I'll go. I'll make a live stream just for that because it's rather long. It's rather I wouldn't call it tedious. It's just meticulous on how they handle these things. And so I'm going back to this for a minute because I want everybody to know before we stop stopping.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that we get a taste of something else because I just can't get that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada.
Black women deal with that every day. Thanks, everybody.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón, la plata no te hace ser feliz. De corazón, la plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.